Everyone, I'm Dev Hotep. I am the goddess astrologer and sacred feminine life coach. So I'm here with you about the Capricorn new moon. This is a really powerful new moon. It's at 20 degrees of Capricorn. This degree mark is really important. We're going to get into why everything that's kind of went down at the 20-degree Capricorn mark. And Mercury is going to come out of retrograde on the 20th. Pluto is going to go into Aquarius on the 20th, and we're going to have Pluto here most of the year until September. And so we're getting the second pass of Pluto phasing out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. It's going to go back into Capricorn later, 2024. And then it'll complete and finally be in Aquarius for 20 years until 2044. And so this phasing in and out is happening when Saturn is in Pisces, which is really fascinating. Like, why is that, right? We're going to talk about a conjunction that happens right before this new moon, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in general. We're going to really have the energies shifting at the beginning of the year because we're going to have Mercury come out of retrograde, Pluto go into Aquarius, and the second phase. We got the first phase from March 23rd, 2023 to June of 2023. We got that first phase of Pluto in Aquarius and got to experience that. Pluto is very much, what's underground, and it's revealing secrets. It's also destruction. So it's destroying with Aquarius notions, our programming, our old ways of thinking, our fixed air, our fixed ways of thinking, everywhere where we're not liberated. Aquarius is always wanting liberation. And so then we have all of the planets going direct until May. And so we're having this speedy energy move ahead. We're going to feel a really different, we're going to feel like a pressure relief valve. We're going to feel like we understand a lot. And so let's look at the chart so that we can see more. This new moon, Capricorn new moon's happening January 11th, 2024. This moon is happening at 5:57 a.m. Central Time, so it's 6:57 a.m. Eastern, 3:57 a.m. Pacific, and 11:57 a.m. Universal Time. And it's fascinating. It's not that it has any great meaning. I'm never a proponent of adding meaning to things when there is none. Like the thing just is what it is. That's what it means, right? A plant is a plant. It doesn't mean like some greater thing for humanity because the plant is there, right? So I'm never a proponent of giving added meaning when there isn't any. But this new moon is at 20 degrees and 44 minutes. Pluto is going to be in Aquarius until 2044. Pluto, any planet, always phases in and out of a sign, in and out of the two signs until it goes into the new sign for the period of time that it will be there. Pluto, with a 248-year orbit around the sun, typically has 15, 20-year transits within a sign. And so we haven't seen Pluto in Aquarius since the 1700s. It's when we really started into a new United States, and old powers that were in place began to break down. And so we've been seeing old powers of the patriarchal system, of the dominator culture way of life, breaking down. And if you are not familiar with me, I teach a lot that the patriarchy maybe comes in the costume of white men, but it's really not white men. It's really narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths that have been at the helm of the old system for 6,500 years. And when you look at patriarchy through this lens, that it's narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths, you really start to understand our whole world and how we humans are habituated to dysfunction and abuse as if it's normal. It's no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society, that famous quote. And most of the consensus status quo of the population of humanity has been well adjusted to a sick society. And this is all breaking down. All of these things are breaking down in such a myriad of ways, in so many different ways. they're breaking down in ways where people are no longer willing to go to work the old way they were, because we were home. People were home from the office for 3 years or for a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it was for each person. And so people are like, I don't want to go back to the office. I like working from home. I like this independence. I like this freedom. And Aquarius is that independence and freedom. So there's so many changes that are happening within society, within individuals, and it is shifting us. We're in this huge time of the soup of everyone going in different directions in all different ways. The things that are happening, the symptoms of what's happening is very diverse, and we're seeing so many different things. I'm going to get into some of that. So this new moon is here at 20 degrees, 44 minutes, and it's a Capricorn moon. And this 20-degree mark, I want to go into that for you about everything that's went down here. But this new moon is ruled by Saturn. And right before the Saturn new moon, I'll share with you this chart. Right before the Saturn Capricorn new moon, we can see here a day before on January 10th, on Wednesday, we have Saturn conjunct Fomalhaut. And Fomalhaut is this fixed star that is really divine, sacred feminine energy. It's full of humility and wisdom. It is it rules the sacred feminine energy that is this really beautiful, very gentle, wise, feminine, fierce energy. And so we have Saturn in Pisces, this feminine sign, this mutable water. It's the most mutable of all the signs, mutable water. And so it's the most changeable, adaptable, malleable. It's imagination, and it's the ethereal, it's the invisible, hidden, mysterious, mystical worlds. And so think about, as Pluto went into Capricorn for the went into Aquarius for the first time, March 23rd, 2023. This I'm recording this on the last day of the year, so this year. And so think about how this energy of Saturn moving into Pisces started on March 7th, 2023. And so the Saturn energy was here as this guardian. This Saturn going into Pisces has been a guardian of this transition of Pluto from Capricorn into Aquarius. And why? Because it means that Saturn is not in a fixed air sign of Aquarius, that it's in the most malleable sign, in the most imagination, creation, creativity, um, ethereal, spiritual energy, soulful energy, energy from soul, energy that's working to direct us back into what is meaningful, into the heart, into compassion, because Pisces is divine love, it is unconditional compassion. And so while all of these things have been going on the planet very heavily, you can say since like 2018, we have had such heavy shifts. Uranus going into Taurus in 2018, and so much was happening in Capricorn at that time. At this 20-degree mark, you have the south node of Pluto sitting at this 20-degree mark. And the day before this new moon, you have a Sun South Node Pluto, Pluto South Node conjunction. So just in case you don't know, when we talk about the nodes, we're always talking about the nodes of the moon, typically, these right here. But all planets have nodes, and they help us understand what has come before and our evolutionary growth edge. our evolutionary growth that we intend. And so this is the north node of Pluto in Cancer at 20 degrees. At this, this is our intention. This is the growth that we're moving towards evolutionarily as a collective, because everybody is born with Pluto's nodes in Capricorn and Cancer. And so this south node of Pluto has been sitting at that 20-degree mark, going in and out of that 20-degree mark for a very long time, but definitely from 2018 to present, it keeps sitting at that 20-degree mark and going in and out of that 20-degree mark. The south node of Pluto is our past. It's in Capricorn, the patriarchal past, the last 6,500 years of patriarchy, of psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists being at the helm of our world, of our society, of our culture. And we're talking about from world leaders to CEOs to managers at coffee shops to the boys club at organizations that you go to, like you go to a consciousness place that's supposed to be run from the heart and is supposed to be about higher consciousness, and it has all these yoga things and sound baths and juice bars and cacao places and all of this going on. But underneath is actually this misogyny, this boys club, this suppression of the feminine, not wanting a strong woman or a woman who speaks up, speaks out to be allowed around on the premises. It's these things that are going on that we're seeing so much that has been happening as women have been rising all across the planet. Women and the feminine has woken up. The sacred feminine within humanity, within the world soul, has awakened at a much deeper and bolder level than ever before since 2018, with some of the transits that have been happening. And if you look at last year when Saturn moved into Pisces, this feminine yin sign, this very deeply feminine sign of everything I was talking about, the compassion, creativity, and it's very malleable and adaptable, and it's about flowing, and it's the ethereal mystery, it's the mystical, it's the invisible and tangible world. It is the alpha and omega. It is from whence we came and from where we will go. It is what we're always trying to get back to and what we're always trying to get away from. It's this principle and this idea that we want to individuate from source and become something so we can evolve and grow, and so that source can experience its own self, right? And then yet we desire to merge back into source once again. And so when Saturn went into Pisces March 7th of 2023, it stayed there and went all the way to the 7th degree mark, which is Neptune, right? And it went up to the 7 degree mark. And then in June, it retrograded and it went backwards. And so it already took a pass over Fomalhaut and conjunct Fomalhaut once, the sacred feminine fixed star, this beautiful sacred feminine energy of humility and wisdom and strength and fierceness, right? That has been suffusing. We've had a lot of transits to Fomalhaut. We've had a lot going on here. And so Saturn conjuncts Fomalhaut, moves up to that 7 degree mark, and then retrogrades in June and retrogrades until November. So from June to November, Saturn retrogrades and goes back over this 4 degree mark here. And then we have this conjunction. So the last conjunction of Saturn here before Saturn will move on again. And so we have this conjunction the day before this Capricorn new moon. And we have the sextile to Mars in Capricorn. And Mars is our activation energy, our action energy. It's our energy to go out into the world and to initiate our desires and act upon what we're meant to do on our heart. And so we have this really great sextile here that's activating the sacred feminine energy within the collective. However, there's a lot going down with this we have the old paradigm that is not just that is not happy to just give up control, and people, individuals that feel this usurping of what they connected to as their sense of belonging, fitting in, power, as their sense of making it in the world, of being okay, of their sense of security. Because you have to realize that a lot of the population's sense of security, and it's not always about gender, but a lot of times it is a large part of men whose sense of security was based on the old system that gave men power, that gave men status and state. And when is a woman the example that rolls off of somebody's tongue when you're having an example of a scientist or an astronaut or a pilot or anyone? It's always a man. Even from a woman, it's usually typically a man's example or a quote from a man. Man was looked as the authority. And while this is a conversation that's not so much about biological sex, male, female, it is also true that men have had a certain place in society and a certain place for better or worse in society and in our culture, that is different. While some of it hurt men very deeply that did not prescribe to that way of being, that it was this very narrow pathway of liking sports, having to be a masculine Marlboro Man type of figure, like a John Wayne type of character, having to like guns and military and war and death and all of these type of video games, like all of these types of stereotypes and narrow ways of putting men in boxes. So in ways it really has hurt men, and ways it also has really profited men. Men have profited from, like, if I follow this, if I toe the line in this way, I can make it, and I can, have money, status, fame, power, control, etc. So men, whether they're aware of it or not, are feeling, or people who are really in their masculine energy, women that are in their masculine energy and really under the programming of the patriarchy themselves, are feeling this usurpation of the feminine rising on the planet, the feminine speaking up, the feminine speaking out. And that's within all sexes, right? Within men, women, genderless, however you identify, and biologically, right? And so people are feeling this pressure, and people are lashing out, people are angry, people are aggressive, people are getting bold and violent, and are, what can you get away with? Can you get away with throwing a bottle of Coke at a car on the highway? Well, no one's going to really come after you, so you can get away with that, right? So people are doing these violent acts, doing these aggressions. So you have to understand that even though the feminine has been rising on the planet since 2018, there's all of this backlash that's happening. There's all of these consequences and symptoms of this happening. There's more aggression. People have a shorter fuse. People don't have patience. People are just lashing out at each other. And this is indicative of the fact that we've been habituated to a very dysfunctional culture, psychologically and emotionally. We don't have health in this world at a very high level. We have very low psychological health, and emotional empowerment and emotional health is very low. Emotional intelligence is very low. Then you look at the map of consciousness, most people are below, the level of integrity on the map of consciousness. And so you combine all these things, and you have all of these symptoms breeding from the feminine rising on the planet. So you have this great, beautiful thing that women are the hinge pin. The feminine is the hinge pin to all of humanity evolving and moving forward, because when the feminine are liberated, there is sexual liberation, there is equality, there is the liberation and freedom of art and expression, freedom of speech. There is all people being fed and housed and having mental health and having what they need. There is this way of living where people are attended to and cared for, and humanity is cared for, our earth is cared for, and we live in a symbiosis with the celestial, our earth, with our place in the universe, our place in our galaxy, our solar system. and the whole universe. We understand that we are that, I am that I am, Pisces. So women are this hinge pin. There's a sacred feminine energy that is suffusing all of life, but it doesn't mean that it's just this like happy, wonderful, walking in a pasture, and like enjoying life kind of thing. Like people are upset, people are in aggression, people are feeling individuals that associated their sense of security. When someone's sense of security is usurped or questioned or threatened, or that person just feels like it is, there is a trigger. And how do they respond to that trigger depends on their mental health. It depends on their emotional intelligence. It depends on their level of consciousness. It depends on the amount of trauma that they're equipped to deal with, or have at all. You can have trauma and be very empowered within it and be equipped to deal with it and be working to heal it and on a healing journey with it, and get really triggered and understand, like, I have to remove myself from this situation. I'm really triggered. I understand what it is. I understand what I need to do to take care of myself. And I can't be in this situation at a store or something right now, say. Most of the planet has trauma of some sort. And so you can see how there's been a bloom of somatics and people who are emotionally masterful, who are teaching emotions like I do in my one-on-one coaching container. And I'm an astrologer and a life coach. The reason why I do coaching and have always been a coach, a counselor, a mentor, a guide in some capacity is because we need emotional health. We need emotional mastery to get anything we want, to create anything that we want to create in life, is on the other side of a big emotions. And everything that we don't want, that we want to heal or that we want to be away from, is on the other side of those emotions. And so emotions are the key. Emotions are the key that unlocks the door to everything you want, to all of your healing, to all of humanity moving forward and evolving. Because when we heal all that junk in our subconscious, we create a new reality, because reality is based on our subconscious beliefs. But we've been creating the same reality for 6,500 years based on what's come before, war and domination and being controlled. And we've just created different iterations of the same thing. We have not advanced for a very long time. And people think that the gadgets and the technology and the AI is advancement. And we want to be Pisces, be very aware of what we're doing, of having awareness, of having intuition with our technology and moving forward. And so this conjunction of Saturn to Fomalhaut, Saturn is society, Saturn is our structures within society. Saturn is our reality. And so this conjunction with Fomalhaut is bringing in this beautiful, humility-filled, wise, sacred feminine energy and suffusing it. And this is the last time that Saturn is conjuncting Fomalhaut for this time period. It's the third time that Saturn has talked to this fixed star and gotten this energy. With this sextile to Jupiter, Saturn will be in this applying sextile to Jupiter for 3 months next year. Had an exact sextile to Jupiter last in 2023 in June, and won't have one again until 2037. And so the sextile will never be exact, but Saturn and Jupiter will be in this little dance, and it's the Pisces and the Taurus, and they're dancing with that conjunction that happened before last year. So in 2023. So they're dancing with that same energy of this deeply feminine energy of Taurus, the springtime, plants, nature, the earth, the body, caring, nurturing, healing, loving. Taurus is all about a complementary energy. It wants to build, it wants to connect, it wants to stay together, it wants to bring people together, it wants to nourish what it has, and it wants to only work with things that are worthy. And Taurus rules the garden and food and plants and beauty And so it wants to only build something that's worthy. It doesn't want to build on top of a shitty foundation that's lopsided. You know, it doesn't want to build on top of a relationship that has problems. And this Pisces energy of the soulful energy, this imagination, creativity, Pisces abhors restriction, but also Pisces can be reserved and very internal and within itself. And so much of the changes that are happening are underneath the surface. So much of the changes that are happening and all of the good in the world is underneath the surface. It's not ready at the top. It's not easily visible. What's visible is all of the difficulty, all of the aggression, all of the short fuses, and people that won't let other people pass by them. It's because people are finally stepping into their power. And so now they, you know, can't let somebody else go in front of them because it's the first time they've ever stepped into their own power. And so they're claiming their space, claiming that they own the space, but yet, you know, somebody else is just trying to get by. And so we have all of this very weird clashing things going on out in the world as people are grabbing their sense of empowerment any way they can. And that may be in a very healthy way, and it may be in a not very healthy way. And a lot of people are not doing the deep internal work. And a lot of people are. Those of us that are doing the deep inner work and healing the past, healing past lives, going way back, and healing trauma and healing childhood wounds and healing from shitty relationships, are the leaders, the sacred feminine leaders that are moving our world forward. So this conjunction happening right before this new moon is really important. So if we move then to this new moon, this new moon is happening at this 20-degree 44-minute mark. Like I said, it's, you know, opposite this north node of Pluto, talking about where we're going, nurturance, intuitive, emotions. Humanity is changing from a mind ego dominant species to an emotions, intuition dominant species. This is our future, this north node of Pluto. Pluto signifies our evolution. Pluto is where we're at right now. It's the desires of the world's soul. You know, it's currently where we're at, and it's phasing out of Capricorn, going into Aquarius. So let's look at like what happened at this 20-degree mark. So much went down at this 20-degree mark of Capricorn where this new moon is. And we have to look at Mercury here. Mercury is conjunct the galactic center. And, you know, the galactic center is all about this this energy of man, I put some notes here somewhere. The galactic center is all about this energy of you know, connecting into the quantum field and bringing in solutions, bringing in upgrades and quantum leaps. And so Mercury is out of retrograde January 1st and is going forward in Sagittarius, but it's conjuncting the galactic center right at the time of this new moon. And so it's connecting to the quantum field, bringing in solutions, bringing in help, bringing in all of these upgrades and quantum leaps. So all of this stuff is really possible. Venus just conjunct the great attractor and is off that degree mark at the time of this new moon. And the great attractor is about the integration of so much information, of so much that has happened. And Mercury is not going to hit this 20-degree mark until the 29th of January. And I think that's really when you're going to understand and have big insights and illumination and kind of understand the holistic story of as a whole of everything that went down over the last month of December of 2023, understanding everything that's went down from 2018 on, if you're really looking at it. Because what happened at this 20-degree mark is that in December of 2018, we had Lilith and Pluto's south node all conjunct at the 20-degree mark. And so we had a big stellium happening for a very long time in Capricorn for those years. And so this is December of 2018. And, Uranus at this time hasn't went into Taurus yet for good. And we have Lilith and the south node of Pluto, and Pluto sitting at this 20-degree mark, also sandwiched in between the south node and Saturn. And so we have Lilith that came and went through this area over and over and over again. It made many passes through this area of the zodiac, through this area of Capricorn. And, Black Moon Lilith is so much of where we finally gain our empowerment in our life. It is this higher level of seeking empowerment. It is this higher level of like integrating our wounds and our shadow. Black Moon Lilith is also about equality in partnerships and in relationships, and the feminine not being sublimated and suppressed and being subordinated to the masculine. And that's within the world soul, within humanity as a whole, and in between sex and gender as well. And so not only is Pluto and conjunct its own south node frequently in 2018, but the south node of Pluto also sat at that 20-degree mark off and on from 2018 to the present. And so it's a degree mark that's like heavily traveled. The south node of a planet of Pluto, it doesn't, it's going to take 250 years to move in from Capricorn into Aquarius, if that tells you anything. It sits in an area of the zodiac for a very long time, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth through a few degrees, so, but Pluto conjuncting its own south node, it's like the destruction of the old. Pluto is destruction. The south node of Pluto is what has come before: the patriarchy, the domination, the control over the authoritarian culture, the women being domesticated, sublimated, silenced, minimized, trivialized, being told they're unimportant. Women moving into masculine energy and into the patriarchy themselves, objectifying their own bodies, or acting out patriarchal programming themselves to be able to have a livelihood, an income, status, power, money, clout, position, power. We've been living in a hierarchy, and this is also what this denotes, is this hierarchical way of living, instead of the Aquarius, which is sideways over and bottom up, and it's all over the place, and it's a community, it's a collective, rather than something on top in a pyramid type of way. The Leo opposite of Aquarius is this like, I'm on top of everybody, and it might be like benevolent, like I'm giving to everyone, but it's because it's about me. And the opposite of that is where Aquarius moves into the collective, the circle, and that's also the higher expression of Capricorn, is the Iroquois circle of grandmothers that make the decisions about whether we're going to war or not, or what is going to happen for the whole community or not. It is the wise elders, and it was always the matrilineal. It was always women. And there's this real problem with this, our true her story, our true history of over 100,000 years of goddess culture, times of peace, of equality, of liberation, of sexual liberation. And it's really, our real her story is very fascinating, and there's a lot to it. And it's kind of sad in a way that the darkness, is kind of conflated or connected to the masculine, because it's not really the masculine, right? But it has been in this way. And so this 20-degree mark is very much where we have Pluto conjunct its own south node, Pluto destruction, destroying the past, destroying the way, breaking down the patriarchy. Basically, everyone alive at this time, is awakened, that is in the light, that is of their heart, that is doing the inner work. We've infiltrated the patriarchy simply by being born at this time, by shining our light, speaking up, doing our inner work, being healthy, walking in this world as someone who's compassionate, loving, living for their heart, not indiscriminately compassionate, just compassionate to any fucktard that is like abusing you and will manipulate that to its advantage, but discriminately compassionate to people who may be angry and upset and aggressive, but are not dark and are going through their own difficult time, who need to be confronted with compassion so that they can rise up in consciousness and in vibration and in frequency, so that we can change our whole collective to a higher note. And really let the sacred feminine leaders of this world like lead us up the consciousness ladder, lead us up the heart path, show the way of the heart of compassion. So we do need to be able to have discriminate compassion for people who are not equipped with the tools to handle trauma, the shadow, their triggers, all of their inner shit that is being churned up so heavily because of the patriarchy being broken down. People can't even necessarily name what is happening, but it is happening. So this is 2018. Pluto, Capricorn is also neglect. And so Pluto reveals the secrets of what has been neglected. And just the fact that, the neglect of women, like we have lived with it as if it's okay, but really think about it. Chinese, female babies being killed. It's like, that women were told to sit down and shut up, that women's studies is not taught to everyone and it's just a part of the integrated curriculum, but is rather like a subject matter in a back room of the college that only women are taking, and only some women. Why is women's studies in a back room in a university? Like it's mind-blowing how far we have not come. It is mind-blowing how far we have not come. Like we have to realize that women, if they were stay-at-home moms, they could not get a credit card on their household's income up to 2012. So we're only talking 11, 12 years ago. Women still could not get a credit card that were stay-at-home moms because they didn't have their own income. They couldn't use their household income to get a credit card. That is fucked up when they are taking care of the family and doing a much bigger job than any other thing outside of the home, doing 10 jobs all at once. So we have to realize how far we have not come to be able to go much further. We have to be real about, people are upset right now, and men are really feeling this heavily. Men are feeling this so heavily and don't necessarily have the words or the name for it. And patriarchal men that have the patriarchy deeply internalized, women that have the patriarchy deeply internalized, that I don't know where they're going to be at the spectrum. I don't know if it's like 10 years from now they're awakening, or not in this lifetime, or 20 years. I don't know when it will be that different individuals will awaken, but they are aggressive and dominating and angry and upset and want to control and dominate and fight and hurt you and do things. I had a woman put me down because I was standing up for myself with a douchebag who was staring at me in yoga class and kept trying to hit on me. And I was like, go away, dude. Like, go away. Can you not tell I'm not interested? I like gave him like multiple signals, not interested. And he's like missing all of those signals. Finally, I'm just like, yeah, dude, not interested, like literally to his face. And this woman admonishes me for just being like, yeah, I'm not interested in a person. First of all, there should be no issues with that to begin with. Second of all, I'm a woman, he's a man, and he is not picking up on the signals and signs and on verbal communication. Now he's like, oh, I guess she doesn't like me. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And she's like admonishing me for not going out with him. like I should or something. I mean, I was just so mind blown. I can't even tell you. Like, this is a woman doing this, and a woman who's a teacher in this facility. Like, I just like couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, you have some growth to do. You really have some growth to do. And she has the patriarchy deeply internalized, and literally it is upsetting to her sense of security in the patriarchy for a woman to be strong, speaking her voice, and to say no. Like, that is, I mean, I was just so mind blown by her behavior. um I've had a lot of men lash out at me, but like the women that do it, it's just it's hard to believe. It's really hard to believe. um so just know that this is happening in the collective, and you are a leader. You are one that is ahead of the curve, ahead of the rest of humanity. You are a pioneer. You are a leader. You are doing the inner work. You are more awakened. You are, understanding things that other people don't understand. And so we have to be a role model. We have to bring discriminate compassion. We have to help others see, help others find a crack in the darkness, help others find ways to help with trauma and learning emotional mastery. Like, that's why I'm a coach, because it's for all my clients to get the big results that they want to get in their business or in their life or in their relationships. They get these secondary but very primary results of emotional agency and emotional empowerment and emotional mastery. And there's nothing that they're not afraid to feel, and they know what the hell to do with their emotions, and they have, ways to release them in a powerful way, and they get the messages and the empowerment from their emotions, and then they create big things in their life, create money and create the projects that they want in their business, and bring their voice to the world, and get out there and put their work out in the world, and have amazing relationships, much better relationships. So it's through emotions, and why it's so important. So something else, so this 20-degree mark that this new moon is happening, right? But then we had Lilith go back and forth through this area of Capricorn, but also this 20-degree mark particularly. And then have an exact conjunction to Pluto and Pluto's own south node. Pluto, like, and Lilith saying, no more, we're not having no more inequality. We're not dealing with that. And then of course we're in the current situation where we're having all of the symptoms of this happening, because it's, again, it's underneath the surface. It's undercurrents. It's, psychologically, it's emotionally, it is psychically, it is just people changing what they're doing and no longer tolerating things they used to tolerate. Like, I know so many women that as soon as they sense patriarchy in their date, they're like, I'm out of here. Like, I mean, I left a date in 20 minutes because I'm like, whoa, you got the patriarchy going on hardcore. Like, I am out. And it is crazy. Like, I just won't tolerate it anymore. I won't be around it at all in any way, shape, or form. It's abusive. It is dysfunctional. And it's happening. Like, we are changing the world, but there is all this repercussions. And then we have yeah, so I already showed you this. So, and then we also have, I don't know if I have these charts, but then we also have in January of 2019, we have the sun and Pluto. We have the sun conjuncting Pluto and Pluto's south node. So again, at this 20-degree mark, the sun's not, only does a degree a day. So it's only going to stay here a degree a day, right? Only going to stay here for one day. But we have the sun conjuncting this 20-degree mark where Pluto sits, and for a very long time, where a lot is happening, where Lilith conjunct them, where Pluto and Pluto's south node conjunct for a very long time, and also are being squeezed by the south node in Capricorn and Saturn in Capricorn at this time. So now, this was all happening in 2018. Now this is 2019 of January. And then we have in April of 2019, we have Saturn hitting the 20-degree mark of Capricorn. So, so that also goes down, and so we have Saturn hitting that 20-degree mark. And the south nodes come off that. We have the south node and Saturn conjunct at the 20-degree mark in April. So you can see this Saturn and the South Node conjunct at that mark, at the 20-degree mark. So that's 2019, April and May. And then in April, April 25th, again, it's like a very short little blip, but we have the moon talking to Saturn at the 20-degree mark of Capricorn. We have, in August of 2019 to November, we have Pluto retrograding at the 20-degree mark and turning direct at the 20-degree mark. So Pluto retrogrades here. So Pluto retrogrades at the 20-degree mark. It's like this particular mark is what's happening, and Pluto goes direct at this 20-degree mark as well. And so that's late 2019. And we have Saturn also that retrogrades, and so it goes back and forth over this 20-degree mark. And then we have Saturn and Pluto South Node make a conjunction. Saturn is society. Saturn's getting the information. And in Capricorn is neglect, the neglect of the feminine, the neglect of society and culture that is based upon something that is worthy. We have all of these indigenous cultures that base their world on being interconnected with all of life, on life. And then we have the patriarchal, the dominator, version of society and culture that moved into a mechanistic, materialistic way of life. The industrial fascist push materialism. Then you have Reagan. So you have Hollywood coming into politics in the 80s, pushing materialism. It used to be, different the way that we lived, where you had one person going to work, so somebody else could always go to work and help out the family. Now you had to have two incomes to run a household, right? So a lot changed with Reagan and Hollywood moving into the Oval Office. And then you also in March, you have of 2020, obviously if you don't remember, after 2019, so we have all of this going down. So we have all of this going down at this 20-degree mark. And then we have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction happen at the 22-degree mark in January 12th of 2020. But then in 2020, we have Jupiter come through and hit this 20-degree mark, and also retrograde there. And conjunct with Pluto's south node while it made a sextile to Neptune at 20 degrees of Pisces. And so Neptune is the collective consciousness. Neptune is our higher spiritual sense, our higher consciousness. And so that sextile, like Jupiter, the expansion, our belief systems, conjuncting the south node of Pluto, like changing our belief systems, expanding out of old belief systems that were based on authoritarian domination, control, competition, comparison, status, materialism, mechanism, who has all of that. And so now we move to this new moon, and we have this new moon at 20 degrees of Capricorn. So a lot has went down at this degree mark. And all of it with Lilith going through there has been this awakening of the feminine within the collective, within the world soul. It has been this awakening of women all across the world, this awakening of humans all across the world, awakening into our emotional bodies, our somatics, all of the healing that we need, this awareness of our shadow, of triggers, of trauma, that we've been traumatized as a people to this old paradigm, this old world. It where abuse has been normalized. Like, people don't recognize abuse at all because they've been habituated to it. It's been normalized in our culture. People are waking up from abuse, waking up from narcissistic abuse. There's a renaissance of awakening from narcissists all over the world, realizing that they have been in positions of power, from your local coffee shop all the way up to CEOs of organizations and institutions and hospitals and education institutions and pharmaceuticals. And then you have world leaders, at that level, and in politics everywhere you can think of, right, pulling strings, and everybody like being maneuvered, and things being pushed down to the bottom of a bill, getting passed, that are devastating for the world and our earth and people. But it's never seen because of the way that we do politics, the way we do legislation and law, and like cities all over the country that just let murderers go free, even though they were like proven and the person was caught, just murdered somebody, just being let go until their hearing. Like, and then other cities are like putting women in jail that are calling the cops on their abusive husbands that are abusing the kids and abusing them, and the women are being put into jail. In Collier County, that's happening a lot. I mean, there's just so much happening all over the world that is unjust, and it's just wrong, and it's deeply not from natural law, natural truth, natural wisdom. And people are standing up, but people are also getting disillusioned. We have to realize that Saturn in Pisces is that it's easy to get disillusioned. It's easy to have that futility and that defeat come in, and we have to be very careful to not let defeat win over, to not go into resignation and go into futility, and understand that if you have a voice, if you are awake and aware, and you have a phone or a computer, you can do something great. You can speak and start talking to your people and connect with people. You can build communities, you can do women's circles, you can help people in all kinds of ways, but we must come together in communities. And so this 20-degree mark, if you look at the Sabian symbol, it is very much about like there's different thoughts about the 20-degree mark of Capricorn and the Sabian symbols, but one of them is a hidden choir singing. So you could say like the music of the spheres of the planets, a hidden choir singing, that there is this energy that's trying to bring the collective together, even though we're going to see so much strife through all of that, like bubbling up. It's kind of like when you pop the pimple, like all of the gunk comes up, but eventually it heals and it's better. And also, this 20-degree mark of Capricorn is shared endeavor. It's like a relay race where you pass the baton. It's not the person that crosses the finish line that wins. It is everybody in that team that together came together to win that race that wins. And so the shadow side is defeat, is not letting go of control. And so of course we're seeing how people that have had power and control, and again aren't willing to let go of it. Now there's the narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. They're not ever going to want to let go or want to change the world or want it to be different, because it would be equal and fair and just for the rest of the population. They want to have control, so they're never going to let go of it. So there's nothing that's going to change their mind or make them want peace or anything like that. So we're always going to have that 10% or so of the population that is like that. However, what humans don't understand is that we have so much power. And that's the thing about Pisces, Saturn being in Pisces, is that we have to, instead of getting disillusioned Pisces and going into escapism and drugs and alcohol Pisces, what we need to do is stand up, because Pisces abhors restriction, and stop being caged by our own, like Aquarius. Right after this new moon, we have Mercury going out of shadow retrograde on the 20th, right as Pluto's coming into Aquarius on the 20th. We have to understand we have to be in control of our mind and to really say like what we're going to hold in our imagination. Pisces, Aquarius is about liberation. Pisces abhors restriction, and understand that we have freedom. We have the democratization of information, consciousness, and technology on this planet. We have freedom. We have so much more freedom than we think we do, but it's our own minds that lock us in to this bullshit that you're limited, that money is scarce, that you don't have abundance, or that, you know, you can't. And it's all of the not being able to process trauma, emotions of futility and defeat, and emotions of resignation, and understanding like that there's real tools everywhere. All of the tools that I equip my clients with help them overcome all of that. And the thing is that it's going to pop up from time to time throughout your life, especially if you're doing big things and creating in this world, like creating things that help humanity, whether it's a course or a book or a guest spot, an interview that you do, you know, creating amazing conversations that help wake people up and help expand people's consciousness. You know, no matter what it is that you're creating, that creation comes from feeling big emotions and doing this work in the world. And so it means that you like really must be equipped with the tools to handle defeat and fear and insecurity and self-doubt when they come up, because they will come up always. If you are a big creator, if you're doing big things in the world, if you're a woman speaking up and stepping and reclaiming more and more empowerment as you go along in life, you're going to have the wolves, you're going to have the, you know, you're going to have the haters, you're going to have the people throwing stones. It's the way it is. And instead of being scared to face that, face it with grace and be equipped with the tools, be equipped with how to handle emotions, that they're not, you know, something scary. They're not a problem. They're not something to avoid or to push down. They're actually your power, and they're where you get your empowerment from by going through the full transformation of getting to the other side of those emotions. And so you learn all of that in Alchemical Goddess one-on-one coaching with me. I have very limited spots available. And if you've been thinking about like changing your life and creating big things and making more money as a woman, getting out of imposter syndrome, then you can book a free discovery call with me at empoweredwomenrise.com to find out, to, you know, have this conversation about coaching with me one-on-one. So I do sacred feminine astrological life coaching, where you learn these ways of handling and creating at the highest levels. But so this 20-degree mark of Capricorn is so much about, you know, not going into the defeat, understanding that there's no power to hold on to. Like the power is within you. It's your own unique empowerment. It's also about taking turns and coordination and timing and this like team effort. It's really about collaboration and society coming together. And you see it happening all across the planet. People are grouping up in Aquarius, you know, like-minded vibe match situations of groups of people, of you know, frequencies. Like people are getting together based on vibes, on vibe match, and are connecting, and we are forming communities, and we're forming collectives, and we're forming groups of people that all have the same kindred goals and value systems and ways of viewing life and ability to conceptualize life. So it is changing all across the world. Don't ever let yourself be hopeless. Like understand that it's just under the surface, but there's so much good everywhere. People are doing amazing things everywhere. People are cleaning up the oceans, cleaning up the land, you know, fighting for injustice, changing laws, changing schools, changing the way things are happening with children. Like all across this planet, we're doing such amazing things. The other thing to understand about Capricorn is Capricorn rules time. And so we have to think about some of the sentences that we were just taught as children, that we just were taught and we just think are normal. And if you remember going to school and always being told to pay attention, the word pay, like pay money, pay your attention, because time is actually your most valuable commodity, more so than money. And you only have such a finite amount of time. And so with Capricorn being Chronos, being time, it's interesting to think about, like, what do you pay your attention to? You know, what do you pay the coins, the dollars, the digits of your attention to? Are you giving it over to negativity, to futility, to defeat, to what you think you can't do, to insecurity and self-doubt? Or are you paying your attention to your gifts, your talents, your resources? You have to understand Uranus is in Taurus, wanting us to awaken to our gifts, our talents, our resources within inside of us. And anybody, I promise you, with imposter syndrome, anybody that you're concerned about how they think of you, they are probably a narcissist, psychopath, or sociopath, or they're kowtowing to them and a part of like being controlled by them and manipulated by them, because they wouldn't, like, people that are of the light, people that are creators, like, yes, we all judge each other. That's just like normal human stuff. But like, people that are creators are not paying their attention, their energy and time and focus on like caring about what other people are doing. They're spending their attention and time and focus and energy on creating big things in this world that change, shift things for all of humanity. They're being of service. They're helping their clients. They're focused on their audience and how they can bring value, how they can bring great content that shifts perspectives and mindsets and shifts focus and uplifts and inspires and encourages people to wake up, to get up, to stand up, to speak up. So really understand that with Capricorn, like, what are you paying your time to? Where are you spending time? Another a great phrase that is always said is like, you're spending your time. Well, yeah, you're spending the dollars and the cents of your time. So where are you spending your time? Are you spending them in places that are like dark alleys and back rooms and with people who don't value you, who disrespect you, who are putting you down, who are like telling you what to do and what you should think and who you should be? Or are you spending your time with people who uplift and encourage and inspire and who have great things to say and amazing perspectives and who are about learning and growth and expansion and humanity evolving and love and the heart and bringing compassion and bringing a sacredness back to life, bringing this interconnectedness with all of life once again? Where are you spending the money of your time? And so this is a really important question. I think that with this new moon, like, such important time to do ritual with all of the with Saturn conjuncting at the 20-degree mark, the sun having a Pluto South Node conjunction at the 20-degree mark, with the South Node, hitting that 20-degree mark, with with Jupiter hitting that 20-degree mark and retrograding there, with Pluto retrograding on that mark and going direct on that mark. Like, it's so important to understand that there is all of this revealing. The secrets have been revealed. We all know that. We all see that. But also there's been this destruction, this breaking down and dismantling that has happened. And we're in this like kind of ocean of the consequences of that, the symptoms of that, the aggression and the people lashing out and the people just having no idea what to do with all of their shadow and triggers and stuff coming up. And so the bloom of all the people in the world who do know what to do with it, who do know how to help humanity, who are a somatics expert or an emotions expert or a coach or a mentor, guide, an energy master, etc., are helping humanity to heal all of these things. And we all need to realize that Aquarius is not about someone being on top anymore. It's about all of our unique, beautiful gifts coming together for an integrated whole. Saturn being in Pisces, it's this holistic way of looking at life. It's the gestalt, the whole picture. It's not just one celebrity or one movie star or one person on top that has the clout. There is no greatest. All of that bullshit was just Neptune and Pisces since 2012, a big illusion, a big fantasy that's been sold. And like Reagan in the 80s, like selling Hollywood and selling like fame and fortune and all these things. It's all illusions to keep people chasing their tail for something that has no meaning. It has no meaning within it. But so many people are caught up in materialism and it's part of their evolutionary journey to get that hard lesson, maybe not even in this lifetime, of like how empty and concave that is. Like, only that, if that's all you do. So and to really understand that we are, that it is really the collective whole, all of us coming together with all of our shared amazing gifts, like honoring each other and the amazingness of each other, and all helping each other to grow together. That competition, healthy competition, to make each other better, but not because somebody will be better. There is no greatest. There is only your individual greatness, and most people will never even like push the edge of their greatness and then push it again and push it again to see like what they're possibly capable of. And I'm really imploring you to get out of your own way, to really be aware of where you're spending your attention, of your mind, of your emotions, of your consciousness, and put it into making, like doing your greatness in this world, bringing your feminine genius forward, being that sacred feminine leader and guide, being that that one that speaks compassion first, that diffuses the arguments, that helps lead people to, you know, an answer, or out of the darkness and into solutions and possibilities, and helps encourage people and uplift people. So I also really think we have to come out of this fake, you know, philanthropy bullshit where people are like, oh, you know, I donate to a charity and stuff, and I put it on my website, but it's like, what is actually being done there? Do you even know what they're doing? Are they doing anything with the money? I mean, they're just paying employees to shuffle papers around. Like, what is actually happening? There's so much money that's supposedly being spent in places that, but like, where everybody, like, what about all the homeless people on the street? Like, people are sitting on the street, people are hungry, people don't have mental health or housing, but yet supposedly all these charities have all this money. We need to see it. You know, like, if it's really, if we're really affecting change, let's see it. Let's be boots on the street. And this is what Aquarius is also going to change, is when we actually care for humanity, we're going to change it at a level where it's affecting the person on the street. And so, you know, if like, you know, I have a course that I give away. My goal is to, once my course is launched, is to give away one course for every person that, you know, purchases a course. And it's a way I can affect people in real time, boots on the street, help people right away. And it's not this like abstract thing that's supposedly helping people. So it's something else to really think about and consider. I'm going to get into, lastly, just know that, you know, Mercury is not going to, is going to go direct, or get out of shadow rather. Mercury's going to get out of shadow on the 20th when Pluto goes into Aquarius. And so there's going to be a lot of clarity coming down the pipe then. But when Mercury actually hits this 20-degree mark, I think there'll be a bloom of clarity that might be spanning back to 2018 and those years and what all went down. If you just look at everything that's happened and your own story. So I think there's going to be a lot of blooming and a lot of upgrades and quantum leaps and big shifts in consciousness coming in January. Please like and share this video. It really helps the algorithm. You're already here listening. Please just throw a like on it. I really appreciate you being here so much. If you would like to get my free astrology mini course, you can go to empoweredwomenrise.com and download that for free, or you can click the link in the description box. So definitely go get that astrology mini course. It's like jam-packed with so much information. You don't have to watch it. You can just listen when you're cleaning the house, or you can listen when you're driving or going for a walk, etc. So it's just jam-packed with information about how to connect with your personal astrology and to understand your personal astrology whenever I'm doing any of the astrology forecasts, but also understanding how to use the 12 signs in your life. The 12 signs are just areas of life to master. It's all they are. They're mechanisms. Like, how do you start using them in your life? I have a 12-week like course coming up with me that's going to be live, and we're going to be in women's circles every week. So look for that coming up on the next video, and definitely subscribe to this channel if you want to be updated when all of the next sun sign videos come out. So we're going to get into the sun sign horoscopes and look at your sun for your solar chart, which is a great amount of information. It really does have some beautiful information to understand like how this is affecting you in ways that you might not think about. Definitely look at your rising to understand your natal birth chart and what is going on there. So both charts combined should give you some really beautiful information of how this new moon, the areas of life this new moon is impacting you. So I'm going to go into all of that and do some card pulls. I am sending you all lots of love. I really love doing these videos. Please throw a comment down. Let me know what you like, what's affecting you. Did something shift you? Do you want to hear more of something? Just let me know in the comments. Throw a like on this video, and I will see you in the sun signs. Let's go, Aries. If you watch part 1, you will have a much deeper understanding of this reading for yourself. But definitely a pure Capricorn new moon for you, 10th house. So we're looking about planting seeds for this planting seeds for this for your business, for your career, for a really beautiful bloom to happen and great understanding later. So what do you want to see resurrect here? This is definitely, you know, Capricorn restructuring of the old ways, restructuring of your foundations and your business. This could be really reimagining how you want things to be. For those of you with careers, this is also about taking up space in the world. This is about speaking up and being more of a public figure. Maybe you're finally speaking your voice, putting yourself out there more. There is a square to the south node, so the old wounds, and it's happening in your relationship zone. So there could be some relationships that are getting in the way of the projects that you want to complete, or maybe your love relationships getting in the way of work relationships and so forth. So there's really something about stepping up and evolving the way that you handle things in your life, and really like understanding what are your core values, what is the most important thing to you, and bringing that forward. So with Uranus and Taurus in your second house, there's this massive energy about taking back this understanding of your talents, your gifts, your abilities, and your skills, taking back your belief in yourself, a positive belief in the future, a belief in what you can create, of the transformation that you can offer to people that you work with, and really believing in what you're here to do in this world, like believing in yourself in this highest way. Lilith is in the 5th house and in Leo at the time of this moon, and wanting for there to be a powerful standing in your creativity and honoring yourself, honoring your creative work and your gifts, and bringing them to the people, share them with others, bring this forward. So definitely understanding about your own power. There's something here about your own power and how connected you are to that. Definitely energetic work is really, really important. Getting your brain coached, getting yourself coached, learning the emotional skill set, get help creating results. So using these cards today, there is see yourself doing well, and you will, this believe it in yourself card. So that was definitely this big theme in your astrology reading, is really having like positive belief and expectation about the future. So bringing that forward. There we go. And so having belief in yourself, where are you at with that? Is it like value systems? Is it fear? Is it trauma? Like things that need to be healed? Where is the lack of belief in yourself coming from? And what is going on with my cards? Okay. Wants to come forward. So teamwork, using unicorn cards because I just really need the magic and the mystical, and our Saturn ruled new moon with the square to the nodes. work with others to make the situation come about. So it's wanting you to partnership. You do have that square to the South Node. So it's wanting to resolve and elevate the old ways that you handled partnerships, relationships, problems in relationships, like, restrictions and blocks. Maybe you're not blocked. Maybe it's that, a lot of times I've seen how people will say like, oh, my audience, I thought my audience was like spiritual groups. But what they don't understand is it's not everyone in that audience sees everything the same way. Just because like all the people are there for a higher consciousness event doesn't mean that they're all higher consciousness. It doesn't mean that they all have the same idea of what that means or the same ability to conceptualize. So just understand that everyone's in really different places with their own consciousness, their own ability to conceptualize with what they value. And so it might be a micro pivot versus, or a way that you're looking at something that needs to shift your perspective on it versus changing the whole thing. Relax, everything's okay. There is this sense, I get this sense of like there, like some of you are really having this worry. Like there's this big worry energy and kind of trepidation about the future. And then really it's wanting to remind you that everything's okay, relax, take it down a notch. Don't have the doom and the fear because it's like a perpetuation when you're in that. Really some energetic medicine can really be helpful. I do Reiki sessions with my clients. There's so many things you can do to really help yourself to come out of that doom and gloom, and also understand like where it's originating from. Definitely look at the way you're thinking. Your thoughts might be creating that. So definitely, kind of look at where your mind is at. What thoughts are you allowing yourself to entertain? Square to the nodes, it's asking us to stand up. It's asking us to stay in an empowered place. And it is your first house. So it's really asking you to understand, what identities that you're taking on. Are you taking on the identity of an author, creator, podcaster, interviewer, goddess, sacred feminine leader, powerful woman? Like what identities do you want to shed and no longer be a part of your experience, and what identities do you want to take on? So Aries, I hope that was powerful reading for you. Let go of the worry, and you might need to burn it off with some physical exercise. You might need to take walks to get the mental energy. You might need to do a brain dump and just get the mind down on the page. So, all right, Aries, sending you lots of love. And if you would like to download my free astrology mini course, you can go to the you can go to empoweredwomenrise.com, or the links below to download my free astrology mini course. Sending you lots of love. Until next time, please throw a like on this video. It really helps other people to find out about it and to get the help they might need in just that exact moment. So thank you. Taurus, 9th house new moon for you. This new moon is square the nodes. I didn't talk about this much in the video because we've had kind of this long running Pluto square, even though this is a new moon, for a long time. And we've had these archetypes, and I've kind of really talked these archetypes to death. So there's just more important things to cover. But you have Jupiter and Uranus co-present in your first house, expanding, changing your beliefs and what you are, how you deal with threats, how you deal with triggers and difficult people. Don't make it anything about you, the way people react and respond to you. Remember, as a leader in this world, people will hate, they will admonish, they will put you down. You will also have all of the people who see your true heart, who see your true intentions, and who love you. And so you will have both. If you are a leader, you will have both. So, and if you are a woman who speaks up, you will have both. So don't make it mean something negative about you or that you should change your behavior in any way. You always got to come from that true, authentic core self. And Jupiter's wanting you to expand your belief in yourself, and also your optimism, your positivity, your positive belief in yourself, the gifts that you bring to this world, who you are, the amazingness of who you are. Jupiter's that really like optimism, the belief in what we can do, the expansion, the going out on the adventure, the journey, the exploration, and we really have to have that kind of that fun, that kind of like joyful spirit embodied to go explore and adventure and want to be in that kind of discovery type of mode. So it is that kind of energy, and Uranus has been pushing for a huge individuation from everything that would limit you, everything that would mean that you're not liberated in some way, but it's often in ways that are really deep under the surface. You know, it's in your personality, it's in your belief systems, it's in your, excuse me, it's in your perceptions, it's in the things that you buy at the store, it's in what you think you have to do. Taurus is so fixed. And if it's your rising, there's a lot of shadow hidden in our rising sign that we have to overcome. You know, our moon, we have to overcome quite a bit of shadow. Our south node, we got to overcome a bit of shadow. You know, the sun is more who we're becoming. It's our life purpose. So with Taurus, especially with rising particularly, there can be that fixity with only seeing, you know, the sky above your well, being the toad at the bottom of the well, and you only see your sky, that little patch of sky above your well, and it's very comfy there. And it's, you have everything you need, you're very comfortable, but you don't see the whole rest of the sky. And Uranus has been wanting you to understand that inside the well is not actually liberation. It's actually a prison. And to get out of the well, even though it's confronting and it's hard, and to go see the rest of the world. And that means in all areas of your life. So it's really been pushing this great expansion of not letting fear really dictate your maneuvers, and trying to protect against everything and ask every right question so I can be prepared for every, you know, possible scenario. Instead, understand that you are the resource yourself, that you are your greatest resource, that you moment to moment can respond to what is happening with the resource of yourself, your knowledge, your wisdom, your capability, your ability to problem solve, etc. So this new moon in the ninth house is beckoning like this expansion of soul, of spirit, you know, this exploration. For many of you, this could be travel abroad and, you know, getting a backpack and going from European city to European city, or going to Bali or Thailand, or different places. You know, this is definitely travel. Could be South America. But, you know, with it being a Capricorn moon, it's deeply about what structures we want to hold in place. It is how we can work with others. It is very much our place within the whole, and how we're adding to life. You know, the ninth house is about leadership and expertise. It is you being a sacred feminine leader. You know, it's your expertise. It's Capricorn, you know, being the one that is the authority, the one that knows, the one that holds the wisdom, Capricorn. And also Sag is that higher truth, higher wisdom. This is asking you to connect to divine wisdom, divine truth, with these squares to your sixth house, day-to-day living, you know, the old fixed Taurus ways of how you think it should be, of what you find comfortable or secure. You know, it's that security that's always going to do you in. Maybe there's other ways to live that would really expand you so much and bring you so much life and so much enjoyable living that you didn't know. I mean, maybe it is living with other people and living more in a community or a larger space. This North Node in your 12th house, you know, this is it's very much like this axes of the past. It's a lot of healing the past that took away from your own autonomy and your own leadership and courage getting usurped, getting diminished, you know, the opportunity for it taken away completely. So the wounds around this, that there's healing here in this new moon and over this period of time here, these weeks to come, as Mercury is going to move over this period, and how we've had so much happen at this 20-degree mark. I go into that deeply in part one. I recommend that you watch that because there's so much that's happened at this degree mark. So let's pull you some cards. Also understand that there is a square to Uranus to Lilith and in your fourth house, and there's wanting this ability to deal with that feeling of vulnerability, and not thinking that, not letting that stop you from putting yourself out in the world, that feeling of vulnerability, and realizing that it is deeply powerful to be able to work with a feeling of vulnerability, understand that it's a feeling, it's not a state. Understand that don't make it mean something, that the feeling of vulnerability comes up from time to time. So just really working with that meditation, going within, breathing with that, and not making it mean something. Let's pull you some cards, Taurus. You got very soon. So if there's something that's been on your heart, and it may be you needing to take an action. So if there's something that you've been thinking that, should I do this? When should I do this? It's asking you to take that step and to move forward. If there's something that you've been hoping is on the horizon, it's giving you this. I should really take these cards out of the deck because I don't really particularly love to work with cards like this, but because timelines are like spaghetti, so they're always moving. So, some random thing can just affect them. So it's very funky. Like even, the highest dimensional beings can't tell you when something's actually going to happen. So it doesn't say in 1 month, it does say very soon. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use that card anymore in the deck. Not my preference, but for those of you who are looking for the urge to take action, it's urging you. That's the message I'm getting, is that it's urging you to take that step forward, believe in yourself, and move forward. You got brothers and sisters, so there may be some healing with siblings. There may be some support or partnerships there that's wanting to be held. Also, this is brothers and sisters with human family, sister bear, brother bear. Like, are you able to connect with those like-minded people, the kindred spirits, the people that just like realize when you go to connect with other humans, how much good comes out of that? That yes, there's going to be the tricky, tough such scenarios, but it's just like next, like just have this kind of like next, there's 8 billion people on the planet, like fuck them and go to the people that are amazing. There's so many amazing people that we hold ourselves back from meeting, interacting with, becoming friends with, being brother, sister, bear with, because there's so many tough ones that we focus on. Don't spend the money of your time upon focusing on those people that just don't lift you up and aren't there to support you. This came flying out. It's okay to be different. I love this card because it's like a little squirrel, and if you can see, it's like all the bunnies and the gopher and the mouse and all of the little animals are here. And it's just so terrible. And a skunk too. I think it's a skunk. But it's like the unicorn with all the animals that like everybody is so different. If we look at the animal family and we had them all together, like we put them together in storybooks, for kids, and it's like all of these different animals are so wildly different. But we grow up trying to fit in, trying to be like everybody else. How much of our lives have we embraced really being our unique self and bringing that forward? Because it's that uniqueness that you always love in other people. You love them because of their unique thread that is original. Like, be the original, be willing to put yourself out there to be unlike anyone else, and bring that forward. It's asking you to have some laughter, watch funny movies, get with people that make you laugh, like know how to tell yourself a joke. How can you bring laughter in yourself? How can you tap into those higher frequencies and those higher vibrations? How can you get your vibe up? Definitely energetic medicine. I recommend. Sending you lots of love, Taurus. Please throw a like on this video. It helps other people to find just what they need at just that right moment. And also, if you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at the link below or at empoweredwomenrise.com. Sending you lots of love until the next video. Gemini, 8th house, new moon for you, squares to your 5th house and 11th house axes. So it's really asking you to step into your greater individuality and connect to spirit. Connect to your magician within you, to connect with the ethereal worlds, to know your psychic gifts, to know your intuitive abilities, your ability to really get to the deeper core root of what's going on with any situation, and to uncover and unearth what is the most important core root of things. It's wanting you to plant seeds with your deep partnerships. Maybe you're longing for a deep partnership, for an intimate relationship, or for your relationships to be more intimate, to be more kindred, to be more deeply connected, to say I love you in a friendship finally, those types of things. Like there's a seed to plant here that can bloom. And there's a lot that has happened eighth house wise for you since 2018. You know, it's sex, death, taxes. It's the connection to the mystical, to magic, to actually tapping into the faculties of your brain, your psychic gifts and all of that. And it's the deep intimate bonds. It's also, you know, other people's resources and money and getting help or getting loans or getting support. So it's also merging with people and hooking up with powerful people, or people that you see as really skilled or masterful at things, where you learn from them and partner with them, and you both share your individual geniuses to make something happen. So it is very much about knowing how to work with other people and to compile your resources together to make something beautiful. So there's a lot going down in this area. So I'd look at your life since 2018 and what all has been happening. If you watch part 1, I go in deeply to this 20-degree mark and everything that's went down since 2018, and the sacred feminine importance that is coming through for us here, ruled by Saturn in your 10th, all about career. You know, there's this sacred feminine leadership wanting to happen in your career and your business, wanting you to stand up in the world, wanting you to step into your feminine at an even deeper level. Like, are you seated in the center of your beautiful feminine energy? You know, and not everyone that listens to this will resonate with that. So for those of you, I understand, but I am niched more towards women who are anchoring in their feminine energies and are called to that. And you know, the square in your 5th and 11th house, it's asking you to be the unique, original, beautiful person that you are, and to love that person, to really embrace your uniqueness, embrace your gifts, embrace your confidence, bring your confidence forward. There's something really important here. And there's some healing to do in the roles that you've played within groups, and collaborations with other people. You know, maybe there's some healing to do in how you've been, you know, maybe there's been like dominating others, or just you were dealing with trauma or dealing with difficult things and the way you came across to others. Maybe there's some healing there from you to them, and maybe the reverse of healing from other people's behavior towards you, overtaking you, their aggressions, their dominations, they're not, you know, not allowing you to have your own autonomy or say or peace or understanding what you needed. There's definitely this ability to have this great understanding of who you want to be in relationships with, who you don't, of weeding out the people that just don't support you and lift you up. And there's this confidence to do this now. And over this next 4 months, I think a lot of clarity and illumination is going to come in unexpectedly. And so, Gemini, let's pull you some cards. What wants to come up for Gemini? All right. Hello and goodbye. There's some leavings and some beginnings with people. I was just talking about that like really, you know, understanding like who is meant to be in your world, and who is meant to leave it, like who doesn't deserve to be there, who is not respecting you, uplifting you, where is it not reciprocal, and that you're just, you know, or, you know, maybe it's just understanding that people are going through tough times. They can't be in a reciprocal place with you right now, and it's not an end to the relationship, but it's an end to the dynamic that existed before, and now a new dynamic is birthing with that individual person. And so there's just different iterations of maybe the relationship itself is having a rebirth and having a death and rebirth, which can be challenging, or maybe it's just relationships have to go, and it's time to put yourself out there and meet people and welcome people in so that you can have amazing relationships come into your life. Love heals fear, and it's like wanting you to step into your heart. It's wanting you to believe that you have the ability to respond to danger if danger pops up, but everything that looks like danger is not actually dangerous. And so understanding that coming from the heart, coming from discriminate compassion, I talk about that in part one, is really going to allow you to not be afraid and to shrink with people who might admonish you, or angry people, or the aggression that's going on in the world, the lack of patience, the short fuses that are out there, and people just even getting violent and just aggressive and mean. And so it's just really standing in your pillar of love and heart-centeredness within yourself. I'm not saying you have to go interact with that person, but it's not shrinking that love, because that can be that reaction to difficult people and angry and violent people, is to shrink and to want to hide. But it's the time when you need to shine the most. So just being that example for others that are around, that are witnessing it. If you're the strong anchor of love and centeredness and intuition and intelligence, then others can step into theirs as well. And it raises the whole frequency of everyone. So you have healer realizing that you have gifts of healing, and that can come in all different ways. Maybe you're a coach, maybe you do hands-on energy medicine, healing with emotions, healing, helping people through trauma. But witness, non-judgmental witness, is one of the most healing things that you can absolutely do. It's so incredibly beautiful. And so really understanding that just compassionate, non-judgmental witness is one of the biggest healers in the whole world. And so don't ever underestimate that, of just witnessing someone that needs support, that needs an ear, that needs you to listen. Obviously, don't become a sponge for somebody that can't shut up and do their inner work, and it's always just brain dumping on you. So know the difference. But understand that simple things are incredibly healing, and people need this so much in the world right now. Just a kind word, just an upliftment, just letting somebody go in line in front of you, or just a smile, a nod of encouragement, opening of a door. Smallest things can be wildly healing, because it's like just a particular moment in that person's life where the act of kindness like reminded them of humanity again, and the goodness in the world, and when they needed it and maybe were like bereft of that. So don't underestimate how powerful the smallest gestures are. Laughter came up for you, just wanting funny movies, people who joke around, people who are lighthearted, bring your joy back. Like, what sparks your own laughter and ability to take it light and put a positive spin on things and make a joke. Where does your laughter come out? Do you have like funny things you can remember, or old TV shows that are just hysterical that you can put on? But bring your vibe up. It's wanting it, it's talking about laughter, but overall what it's saying is joy is so important. Raise your frequency, raise your vibe. Like, think about all the things that do that, and make sure you are really avoiding all of the things that dip you down under the line and that are holding you down below like a higher frequency. It's not worth it. Watching movies that have a lot of murder and death in them and stuff, it's not worth it to have your vibrations sunk. All right, Gemini, sending you so much love. Please throw a like on this video. It really helps other people to find this. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com or the link below. Lots of love until next time. Appreciate you being here. Cancer, 7th house, new moon for you. And square that 10th house, 4th house axis, all asking about your sense of security in the world. And seventh house is relationships, how you relate to things. It's also justice and fairness. It's a house of completion too. There might be projects coming to an end and a rebirth of your business, or your perspective in your business, or things that are changing and growing. There is a shift here. There's a completion of old energies for sure. And this is a great time to put down ritual and to mark this as an important occasion. This 10th house, fourth house axis is asking where your sense of security lies. Is it outside of you in material things? Is it in people's or groups or relationships? And with those shift, then you don't feel secure. It's really about inner security at the highest levels that comes from the inside out. Being able to be an emotional agency is huge. Being able to be in control of your own mind is huge, and not letting your mind take you down dark alleyways and hijack you into defeat or futility. Really wanting to heal your sense of courage and ability to stand and take up space in this world, believing you deserve to be here. Not only that you have a unique genius that you are meant to bring forward to help this world, that there's some healing to do in this world. You have Uranus and Jupiter here in your 11th in groups, and wanting expansion, exploration, wanting individuation, for you to like step out and be that original unique person within the crowd, not blending into the crowd. And Lilith in the second, wanting you to own your sense of independence and fierceness, and feminine strength, especially like really bringing your gifts forward, creating with them, being creative, tapping into your joy, tapping into your heart, and knowing that you have value to offer this world, like really stepping into that. There's something huge here about owning your value and being more independent, being more courageous in your work and your business and your career and your projects and your social media, and stepping out to the world. There's this wanting to be more fierce, like with it not being a question, just a belief in yourself. Energy medicine could be really helpful for this. And there is the possibility of some new relationships that are really going to be key for this year. That there's a culmination since 2018. I talk about that a lot in part one. I would go and review that because it'll help a lot to understand your reading at a deeper level. But that there's some culmination of you reclaiming your power and your independence and your empowerment from all these different scenarios in your life that really have to do with the relationships that you've been in. Maybe you've been in subordinated positions of power, etc. But it's there's something that is really birthing here that has been happening, coming for a long time. For everyone, this is going to be things that have been really wanting to birth and bloom, and have that we've been working on them for a really long time. So realize that you've got the card best friends, and it's a card indicating that there might be shifts and changes, a new best friend coming in, that there might be conversations with your best friends that are really wanting to deepen the relationship, to get on the same page about something. What's going on? Like maybe you need more best friends in your life, so you need to get out there in the world and meet people. Yes, you're going to meet a ton of fucktards. You're going to meet a ton of people that just don't vibe, and that's how you finally meet the ones that you do become friends with, that you really do have so much in harmony with. So it's wanting you to take the risk to meet people, put yourself out there. Love from your parents. So if you have a parent that's passed over, this is like really letting you know that they're speaking to you, they're there with you. Also, it's talking about a lot of like family relationship. This is a moon in your relationship house. So you got best friends, you got, love from parents, you got listen to your true feelings. So there's something about you being this authentic, authentic pillar within yourself that doesn't waver based upon what others think of you or their judgments or their misunderstandings or what have you, but also deepening your connections. And this is a look at your connections with your parents, your connections with your friends, the people that you're more kindred with, wanting to understand what they what like where, you know, where you're not, where you're like tipping over into people pleasing or not being your authentic self, where you need to stand up stronger within yourself and help others to adjust to your empowerment. I've had, you know, friends leave the relationship because I was stepping into greater empowerment, and I was literally just a better version of myself, more empowered, a great example for them, always willing to talk anything out to help them deal and adjust to with that. But I'm not gonna not be empowered for them to be emotionally okay. And it sucks that people can't handle that sometimes. And so you might be dealing with shifts and changes and having to let them know that, you know, I'm not going to dim down. I'm stepping into new levels of empowerment. I hope you can handle that. But you know, yeah, I'm here to help with this transition of us and how this changes our relationship, etc. So there's definitely lots of loving energy and really wanting to look at your emotions within and get clarity. Be real with your emotions. Don't bulldoze over them. Don't try to like switch out of them and try to get away from them. Like let it be okay that they're there, and work with the messages. All right, Cancer, sending you so much love. Throw a like in this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at the link below or at empoweredwomenrise.com. Really appreciate you, and see you next time. Leo, so this is a 6th house new moon for you with this nodal axis square and the 9th and 3rd. So all about information, communication, understanding, people understanding you, expertise, like having something to say in the world, and believing in yourself, believing what you're here to share. And you may just be on the beginning journeys of that, where you're really just starting to realize that you have a lot to share with the world, that you have something to say, that you're stepping into a belief in yourself, that you're meant to do some big work in this world. And this new moon is absolutely like a blossoming of greater, taking up greater space in this world, of believing in yourself, of making something tangible and real. So maybe a project coming to fruition, project coming to life by the end of January. You'll really have a great deal of clarity. But this is some stuff that's been going on since 2018 to now. So there's been a storyline here going on in the 6th house for you from 2018 to now. There's been, if you watch part 1, you'll hear me talk about everything that's been going down at this 20-degree mark, and so much has happened. And so you'll really, like, there's some sort of birthing here of this greater claim of a sense of your power, a sense of your service to the world, a sense of feeling complete and feeling empowered, feeling like you've made massive improvements, you've worked on things in your life and you've improved, you've gotten to where you've wanted to go, you've worked for something really hard in your life. This Taurus and this 10th house, Uranus and Jupiter here, this expansion and this individuation in your business and in the public sphere in your career. And so it's really the Saturn rules this Capricorn moon in this 8th house, and is wanting for this deeper connection to yourself and to your sense of empowerment. So understand that there's some shifts and some balance needed in your perspective and your mindset, that you can go into extremes, and to be careful about any of the extremes. Also, there's wanting for this greater independence and courage in your leadership and your voice in the world, of stepping into of greater presence on social media or in your business, or maybe you're stepping into the next level of visibility, and that can be bring up the nerves. But there's a request for courage here, and that positive expectation, like just positive expectation, like, nope, this is amazing, I'm doing this. Of course you can always make it better, but sometimes we got to get it out there. We just got to do the work and have fun with it. So laughter is coming up big for everyone. This is about raising your vibration. It's about joy. This is about being in the higher vibes. Like, what do you spend your attention on? Do you spend your attention on like death and murder movies, or are you listening to amazing stuff that's keeping your vibration elevated and managing your vibration at a higher frequency? Because stuff can really pull us down. And so bring in laughter, bring in joy, bring in fun people, fun experiences, drink less, get more sleep, do the things that are going to keep your vibration high. This is coming in big for everyone right now. Wanting you to try something new. What are you passionate about? What have you been wanting to do? What have you keep putting off? What do you keep putting in front of your goals, your dreams, things you've always wanted to do but don't, whether it's like surfing, skydiving, trapeze or something. But it's wanting you to, there's a big message here of expanding, exploring, trying something new, getting out of your comfort zones, having fun, having joy, being an exploratory. And there's like love for your parents here. So you've had a parent pass. It's really letting you know that they are with you and sending you really messages of love and optimism and hope. And also, this is a sign of getting connected to your parents, having that kindred bond. Maybe it is your soul parents, because maybe you just had gestational carriers in this life, biologically. And so maybe it's like really connecting to your soul parents or your guides, your family and tribe in that way. And bringing that in, that there's a need for that support right now. I'm sending you lots of love. Please throw a like on this video. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at the link below or at empoweredwomenrise.com. Thanks for being here, Leo. Lots of love. All right, Virgo, this is a fifth house new moon for you. It's like planting seeds, and it's square this nodal axis of this second, eighth house. So definitely resources, sexuality, and your gifts and talents, and resources with other people and groups, and the resources you have within you. Very much this new moon is asking for you to step into a greater belief in what you can create in this world, of bringing your gifts to the world, of taking your will to create your destiny, like to create your goals, to accomplish, to achieve, to make projects happen, to write the book, to do the thing that you're wanting to do. It's a seed that's birthing here. There's something of reclaiming your power. There's definitely a nuanced seed that's blooming with this moon, that has been going on since 2018. If you listen to part 1, you'll hear deeply about this 20-degree mark and everything that's been going down since 2018 in the astrology that has to do. This is sacred feminine leadership, of really standing in this place of confidence, self-possession, of belief in yourself. And this could also be things to do with your children, having kids finally, been wanting to, things working out finally. But it's wanting you to have courage, in your connection to the invisible, and your connection to understanding why, understanding the core root of things, getting to the bottom of things, of really excavating the deeper truths, the deeper values and beliefs, that are important to you, that you can take action from those deeper connections within yourself to your business, your purpose, your mission, your why, your powerful why. This is also sexuality and understanding there may be something like birthed here in your sexuality of more autonomy, more freedom, more sexual liberation, wanting to be bold and explore, wanting maybe more partners, different partners, wanting to finally say the things that you need within a partnership, and within sexuality, providing that for yourself, also self-pleasure and understanding at the deepest levels, like that intimate connection to self. There's been wanting of an individuation here from religion and other people's beliefs and other people's viewpoints has been coming for a long time. Um, so definitely Saturn in your seventh, relationships. There's this new moon is having a flavor of relationships that have held you back from shining at the highest levels, from feeling more confident. Are your relationships like believing in you, believing in your success, believing in what you can accomplish? Do they lift you up? Do they empower you? Or are they holding you down? Or are you holding yourself back because you have the excuse of that relationship or that person? Really important not to do that. What wants to come through for Virgo? Practice. So it's wanting you to actually put the time in and practice. And also it's giving the message of not perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. That everything's actually perfect moment to moment. Even, desperation is perfect in that moment. Everything's perfect in any individual moment. So it's wanting you to understand that it's all a practice always, even at the highest levels of mastery. There's more mastery to go, and to practice the healthy mindset, practice the emotional empowerment, practice the skill in your business that you're working on. Practice speaking and being in front of others, and practice putting your gifts out there. Practice showing up with the energy of believing in yourself. Also, really wanting to be of service to others. Like, how can you be there to help them get the result that they want to get in their life if you're in a business? You got brothers and sisters, so siblings. Maybe there is some resentments and old regrets that are wanting to be healed and taken care of there, wanting to reestablish a healthy bond, a healthy relationship. Maybe there's needing to be cutting away because there just can't be a healthy relationship with that person, but there's a healing that's needed inside of you, due to that situation. So also, this new moon is in the house of, does have your square to, the house of siblings, and so there can be, past life wounds and issues coming up from relationships with your siblings, and things that need to be mended, old patterns that need to be released. Maybe there's just hurts that need to be healed there. So just be yourself, wanting you to believe that your unique, authentic self is amazing. Embracing that, embracing yourself, stop trying to be like other people, and to really understand what you have to offer, and that being and trying to be like someone else, it's really, it's not even giving like your personality a chance in this life, and it's just another copy of other people. One step at a time. So instead of letting like the future vision fuck with your now moment, just like taking one little step now and then another and then another. So just kind of letting go of the longer vision, which can really create anxiety, it can create fear, and just taking the step that you can take right now. Focus on what you can do. Focus on what you can do right now and how powerful that step is. Yeah. All right. Sending you lots of love, Virgo. Please throw a like on this video. I appreciate you being here. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com or at the link below this video. And really appreciate you being here. See you next time, Virgo. Libra, fourth house new moon for you. There's seeds that's been planted since 2018 that are blossoming and blooming with this new moon. If you watch part 1, you'll hear me lay down the astrology from 2018 to the present, this 20-degree mark. A lot has happened here. So this just isn't any new moon. And we have squares to your first house and seventh house here. So very much about relationships, about your own autonomy and independence, who you are, your unique identity. If you're merging with other people, or if you're people pleasing, if you're shrinking or dimming down because you're afraid of what others will say or do. really wanting you to stop chameleon, doing the chameleon thing or the politician thing, and actually let your authentic self dictate what relationships stay and go, and understanding that relationships, it's not about having every relationship. It's about actually understanding which ones are worth it, which ones aren't. Very much fourth house is all about inner security and emotional security. So what have you been building up there since 2018? What has been shifting and changing? What has like usurped that and challenged you to have, your sense of security based upon your inner emotional agency and empowerment and ability, rather than on externals of material things, money and people and relationships. And so it's definitely connected to your sense of security, tied to relationships, that all tied into your identity, and how that's been trying to be broken down so that your identity is a true, authentic thread of who you really are. So you can show up in relationships from that authentic self, and that your security is not based on other people or material possessions, that it's based upon you having the inner capability of dealing with anything moment to moment as it arises, as it comes up. Saturn ruling this new moon in your sixth, definitely bringing in issues of health, bringing in, this is a new moon, this is a rebirth of things you might have been dealing with for a very long time. So what have you been dealing with in your health or in your day-to-day routines and life since 2018? There's something, magical here, something healing, something moving forward, and this is definitely relates to bones, it's Saturn, it's Capricorn. This is the structure and bones literally of our body, but also of our life, of our mind, of our perspective, and so forth. So there's a lot shifting here, Libra. Please throw a like down on this video. I'm going to pull some cards for you. It really helps people to find the video. So you're already here. Thanks for liking this video. And if you subscribe, you'll be notified when a new video comes out. You got the card change. So there's lots of changes happening. There's big shifts there. These are monumental things. It can be something to adjust to it. You might be going through adjustment phases over the weeks to come. But don't, one thing to be aware of with change is we often make it mean something bad, make it mean the other shoe is going to drop or something bad's going to happen. So don't see if your brain automatically conflates change for bad, and start reprogramming that change is good, that things change for the better, things get better, things are beautiful, changes are positive. So it's really wanting you to realize that the shifts or the currents to your sense of security, your home life, your family, all of that changing, is that these are all positive changes, but it doesn't mean that there's not going to be adjustments and upsettles and things of that nature. You got thankful to really bring in the gratitude, start to see all the amazing things around you that you do have, start to tap into not that lack gratitude, that fear gratitude, but that pure gratitude, and see if you can just drop down into appreciation, or, I love this, I love that, I love, go on a rampage of love, all the things that you love about your home, your life, your house, your people in your life, to bring the frequency up, to manifest from that highest place of being connected to that, because gratitude is this place that we really create beautiful things in the world from. It's not like a spiritual platitude that you're supposed to be grateful, but really actually being in that appreciation puts us in a higher frequency, which then allows us to create at a higher level. So also then we're just happier and more joyful because we're in a higher frequency. You got family culture, and it's talking about learning more about your family stories and your family history, and maybe your house and where you live and the stories about that. It's you have a fourth house new moon here, so there's a rebirth happening, but it's been coming since 2018. So look at 2018 to now, the structures in your home life, in your family, all of that is shifting, and literally there's been this fallow field, and there's been this time of growth. There's this new thing blooming, and that can be um, the way your family operates. It can be people, kids growing up and leaving home, having more independence, and how you're coping with that, how you're dealing with that. Maybe that changes the way that you look at yourself, and of not having kids or to take care of. What does that mean about you? What will you do with yourself? Things like that. These are all things that are shifting, but also really positive shifts for family and home life. This could just be the way you look at it too. It might not be physical things shifting, but remember that fourth house is always about that inner sense of security. So where are you basing that from? From the inside, or from, money, house, car, kids, relationships, etc. So it's really wanting you to keep shifting to your sense of security being based upon you being able to handle anything that happens moment to moment as it arises. Sending you lots of love, Libra. Please throw a like down this video. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com or at the link below. Talk to you next time. Scorpio, this is a third house new moon for you. There's something that's been churning up since 2018. I go into that deeply in part 1, so I recommend that you listen to that because there's a lot that has went down at this 20-degree mark. And so third house is really asking you to identify and categorize your life. How is your mindset? What things, what property, intellectual property are you making in the world? Like, what is your unique views on life, the things that you're teaching in your business, the perspectives that you're putting out in social media? There is a birthing of your voice perhaps here, of bringing your voice forward in the world through your business, through your social media, through your visibility in the world, through workshops, etc. Any of that. Something's been happening since 2018 here, and there's this really important blooming that's coming, and a lot of clarity that's coming over the weeks to come. Definitely square the nodes in your 12th, 6th house. And so there's something here about health, healing, about connected to this reality and the ethereal, and that integration of bringing the spiritual life down into this tangible reality, and integrating those two, like seeing the two as merged together as the same, like they one and the same, can't exist without each other. And there's wanting you to have a greater independence in your day-to-day life, a greater sense of courage in the lifestyle that you create for yourself, like really realizing that you can create the life you really want. If that's like going surfing every morning, or if you want to live in a different city, or like, it's really sky's the limit, what you can create for yourself. It might take some doing and a little bit of time and some figuring, but first you have to believe, and that's that third house, that you have to believe and think in a way that allows you to then take actions to make things a reality. The 6th house, reality, tangible reality. And there's wounds from the past that maybe need to be healed, where you don't believe in yourself, or where you have defeatism or nihilism going on. You have the Saturn in this 5th house of like wanting you to make your goals happen, accomplish your goals, like get out there into the world and believe in yourself. Really use your imagination as the ground, to lay the groundwork for what you then go and take action on. But it takes this positive belief coming from this deep, sacred, feminine well of genius, connection to the divine, connection to the quantum field, to your guides, connection to answers moment to moment to moment. Sometimes we do feel so disillusioned and so lost, but understand that it's often trying to get us out of our mind, out of like figuring it out with our mind, and instead use our mind as a beautiful receiving tower for all of the channeled messages, for all of the connection to the divine. Go for walks, integrate your mind, use your mind in a beautiful way. My clients learn to work with their mind to create the results that they want in their life, and to create their life with their mind. We can really utilize our prefrontal cortex to create powerful things in this world and to be powerful people. But most people don't clean out their brain at all, let alone, once a day. And if you're just letting all of these negative thoughts, because 80% of our thoughts are negative, so you're just letting all of these negative thoughts pile up, and you are not taking control of your mind, deciding what's going to inhabit your mind and what are you not going to allow inhabit your mind. You know, what thoughts are you not going to allow yourself to entertain? Thoughts about you or your body, or, you know, so this is a really important new moon, but there's something that's been shifting here since 2018. This is a long time coming. There's a lot of things have been changing here. And it's the structure to the way that you think. It's the whole basis of maybe you built your life upon, of your deeper belief systems or value systems. So Scorpio, it's deep. It's important. You got change, and realizing that change is a positive thing, that it's not, you know, it's not the other shoe's going to drop, that change is coming if you can narrate it and don't make it mean that it's something bad. Like, narrate it that it's something positive, it's something good. You got love from your parents. There's something here about feeling loved, that sometimes you have to create the belief of feeling loved within yourself, that maybe you didn't get love from your parents. Connect to your soul family, connect to your guides, connect to your chosen family in this life. But I'm just really getting the message that you need to create this belief that I am loved, I feel loved within yourself and with your own psyche. I work with my clients to do just that. It takes about 3 days to 2 weeks to implant a belief on purpose. And then you just show up in the world as if that's your truth. You just show up differently, and you don't tolerate the things you used to tolerate. And so you won't tolerate people around you that don't love you and uplift you and care about you. And so, but it's also like indicative, this card is indicative too of like, um, you know, nourishing relationships with parents, maybe mending old hurts and things like that. But I really get the sense that you need to feel as if you were loved, that maybe you just didn't have love from your parents or one of your parents, and you have to create that for yourself. I personally have the exact tools for that, I work with my clients in coaching to do that, in one-to-one coaching. So you can book a discovery call with me at Empowered Women Rise if you're interested in having a conversation about coaching. You don't have to do anything, you just have to show up. I do all the work. It's super fun. You get an absolute transformation in that call, whether you come into coaching or not. But very powerful. But if you can figure out a way to do it on your own, it's wanting you to implant beliefs of being loved. You got this card, it's okay to be different. If you notice all the little animals, there's all these different types of animals, you know, and so it's showing you how in the animal kingdom, you know, the mouse and the bear, it's like, oh, you're a bear, you know, it's like, oh yeah, get away from me. You know, it's like, it's not like that. There's just this embracing of all the bounty of the beautiful forms and ways that the shades and shadows and ways that we come in this life. And it's wanting you to accept and embrace the uniqueness of who you are, of understanding being wildly different is so good, because there's the herd state of evolutionary condition, and then there's individuated and spiritualized, and you want to move towards spiritualized, you want to move towards individuation, you want to be your own unique person that thinks for themselves, thinks differently, helps others to break out of the matrix, break out of the box, break out of the, like, you know, the programming of the culture that keeps everybody controlled and roboted into the same old pathways. I'm gonna pull you one more card, Scorpio. I just get the sense that the unicorns are here to support you today. And you got grandparents. So maybe you have a grandparent that's on the other side that is with you, that is spirit side, that just, they just want you to know that you are loved, and that they are there with you, and they have messages they bring you. So look for birds, butterflies, coins, feathers, like look for things that maybe signs that only you would know having to do with them, and maybe ask them for a specific sign that you would know it was them specifically, because they will give you that. Also, just understanding that the very special bond that you have with your grandparents, and if you know their past, looking on those memories and realizing what treasure that is, and like what a gift that is, that you had that, and if they're still alive, to maybe go and be with them, and to cement those bonds and deepen those bonds, nourish that relationship. All right, Scorpio. Sending you lots of love. And if you can throw a like down in this video, I really appreciate it. You can download my free astrology mini course at the link below or at empoweredwomenrise.com. And appreciate you being here. I'll see you next time. All right, Sag, this is a second house new moon for you. This is square the nodes in the 11th and 5th houses. So definitely asking you to be bold and step into your individuality, step into your confidence. Second house, all about your unique gifts and talents and bringing them to the world. Like you're meant to bring your unique feminine genius to the world. You're meant to stand up in your unique self, who you are uniquely. You're meant to understand the talents and the gifts and the unique perspectives or compassion or healing that you bring to this world that is needed. It's not like other people, even if it's similar. It's your transmission is a unique transmission that this world needs. And so it's saying you got to bring that forward. You got to value yourself at the highest levels. Like you've got to upgrade your self-worth and your self-value. And I love astrology for that, getting to know the beautiful puzzle piece that is you. Working with your personal astrology. I do individual astrology readings, and my one-to-one coaching program is a Sacred Feminine astrological coaching program. And so my clients get to know their charts really deeply over the coaching arc. It's really beautiful. And so getting to know yourself, you have Saturn here in your 4th house, all about that inner emotional security that can't be based upon other people and what they think about you, that can't be based on money, cars, houses, and stuff like that, that it's got to come from inside out. Otherwise, you'll always have that hit to it, that you'll always have this like this usurping of your sense of security if it's based on externals, because it's not real, it's false. So it's wanting you to have more balance in your friendships and understand that maybe some are not right for you, some are not valuing you. You know, when you start to value yourself at a higher level, you also see how you've allowed a lot of people into your life that aren't valuing you at the highest levels, and that you just don't tolerate that shit anymore. It's wanting you to step into your courage of putting yourself out there, being confident with your voice, stepping into your heart, being willing to feel vulnerable. There's a lot here, Sag. Let me pull you some cards. I'm working with the unicorn cards today. What wants to come up for Sag? Please throw a like down on this video. I really appreciate it. It helps others to find this video. It's okay to be different. This card keeps coming up a lot with a lot of people's reading, and I'm definitely shuffling. All the little animals, they're so different from each other, but it's all the whole animal family. And so it's wanting you to realize that the things that are different and unique about you is what makes you interesting. It's what makes people want to hang out with you, talk to you, explore, see what you're about, hear your transmission on your social media and in your business. It's the things that are unique about you. So don't shrink and push that down. Like bring that forward, bring the unique things about you. You got this card pets, so there's something here of wanting to connect with animals, like understanding your deep connection with animals. Maybe you're an animal communicator or you just have that deep connection, but there's something here about capitalizing on that to raise your frequency, to raise your vibration, using that as the thing that gets you in a positive mood. Make sure you spend more time with them. Maybe, you know, one of them is, you know, you only have a limited time left with them. So make sure you deepen that relationship and really connect with them deeply. They're really deep beings that often people treat them like furniture. And so it's just wanting you to realize the miracle that pets are in our life, that animals are in our life, and understand your greater connection to even wild animals. Pay attention to animal signs that you might be getting, to animals showing up in your life in interesting ways. They're trying to tell you something. So really be on the lookout, look up the meanings. There's a message here coming in, Sag. All right. And you are gifted. So this card is a really special card. You know, it's really letting you know that you have a deep feminine genius within you that's really wanting to come forward, and for you to honor it, for you to have reverence for your own talents and skills and gifts, and to not put it down or to second guess it or to trivialize it or minimize it. It's there's something here about like you minimizing your own gifts and talents and always letting that negative voice come in and be like, oh, it wasn't very good. You can't do that. You can't give that voice any quarter in your mind or consciousness at all because it'll grow. And you got to grow the voice of like, this is amazing. I'm doing great. I'm always perfecting, I'm always improving, I'm always getting better. I'm always offering my heart, realize how gifted you are and how magical and talented and the things that you have within you. This is what this whole moon is about. I think it's a second house moon for you, right? Yeah. So, I mean, there's something also that's been birthing here um, since 2018. So there's something here about your giftedness, your talents, your gifts, bringing them to the world, stepping into your individuality, stepping into like owning your true, unique, beautiful self. There's something that's been brewing since 2018 for you here. And this moon is a big blossoming, a big blooming and shifting. And so definitely plant a seed and do ritual here. In part one, I talk about everything that's went down to this 20-degree mark. A lot has happened here in Capricorn. So you don't want to skip over this moon and don't take it lightly. This is a big one. So sending you lots of love. Sag, please throw a like down this video. I appreciate it. If you want to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com or by clicking the link in the description box. I really appreciate you being here. Lots of love. Capricorn, first house, new moon for you. Something has been really churning since 2018, and I talk about this a lot in part one. So I really recommend watching that, and it'll help you understand this so much more because something's really been brewing, and this is this blooming, this is this popping open of this long time story since 2018 of things that have been happening. And this is all about your identity. It's how you deal with threat. When you feel threatened, when you feel like people are attacking you or after you or have different views than you or your sense of security is usurped. This is your identities. Like, are you a creator, an author, a businesswoman? Are you a powerful woman? What are the identities that you've taken on? And what identities have you been working to shed since 2018? And this is the new blooming of confidence. This is the new blooming of your sense of feeling yourself, feeling like you have a great sense of who you are, like you're the person you want to be, like you're the person that you're bold and stepping out into the world because this is square the 10th, fourth house. So this is wanting you to be more bold in your sense of your self-image and who you are and bringing that to the public, like taking up space in this world, coming from this place of tolerance towards other people's opinions and tolerance towards all views in life, letting go of like any of this rigidity and perspectives to be able to connect with people, to lead people. This is you really stepping into this place as a leader and healing any of the things that held you back from that or the reasons why you didn't do that. This is healing your sense of security, and that comes from the inside out. If you've been basing it on externals of money, status, power, relationships, then that always gets crumbled. It always gets questioned and has some sort of conflict or issue because that's not actually real security in any way. And our sense of security really has to come from the inside out. It's an inside job. It's from deeply being emotionally empowered. Is where it really comes from. And so all of us are being tasked with gaining that skill. It's what I do with my clients, one-on-one coaching. And it's just a product, it's a byproduct of accomplishing big things, getting big results. You have Saturn here in your third house, wanting you to really understand your mindset and to come from more imagination, come from creativity, let go of the nihilism, let go of the defeatism, let go of the futility. And you know, we can't just push a button. Those things need healed. You need techniques to release. But it's wanting you to step into a positive expectation and belief in yourself and what you can create. And this is you really stepping into a place of greater leadership, greater belief in what you're here to create and do in this world. Let's pull you some cards, Capricorn. This is a powerful time. A lot has went down at this 20-degree mark of Capricorn. So go watch part 1. It'll inform you a lot. Also throw down a like on this video. I appreciate you being here. This is one step at a time. Remember that often our future vision kills our now process. And so don't let the bigger long-term goal make you feel this futility in this moment of what you can do right now. Focus on the steps you can take, focus on the actions you can do, like focus on just this one little step. Lots of little steps add up to the whole picture, add up to the completion of a project. So even just 1 hour a day at something over 365 days is 365 hours. It's a lot of hours in a project or in a task. So don't ever let just the small steps you can take each day really add up for yourself. Wanting you to try something new. This is all about getting out of comfort zones. You have the node square your 4th house. You know, get out of comfort zones, out of places that feel safe, but they're not. They're just stagnation. You know, a rut is just a grave with the ends removed. Like it might feel comfortable and a sense of security, but it's not allowing you to evolve and grow, and it's not allowing you new heights of happiness and vibration and frequency increase that you have not explored yet because you're not trying new things and getting out there. Maybe you try roller skating, or you go and do different activities with different groups of people. You try traveling to another country and explore the world, try something new, get your vibe up, get happy, get out there. Definitely some energetic medicine. I'm really hearing this message that some energetic medicine would really help a lot. You got the card love, like bringing in love. The answer that you're seeking is love, that bringing the heart forward, stepping into loving yourself more, stepping into greater self-compassion. Where are you being hard on yourself and not being self-compassionate? There's always this industrial fascist, like do, work, hard. You know, it's just all spells and programming. You really have to bring in greater self-compassion the more higher levels that you accomplish. You really want to bring in this love for yourself. Only allow people in your life that are loving to you. You got love heals fear. And so there's something about some fears or anxieties that is going on for you, and to bring your courage forward through your heart, through the heart, through the interconnectedness with all of life, through knowing you're safe, through anchoring into this connection to the earth. The earth always is supporting you. It's always got you. You know, no matter what is going on, no matter how horrible or horrific it is, the earth is always there supporting you. Like draw from that energy, connect to the celestial, and bring your heart forward. Infuse your life force energy with that divine love, that sacred love, and let fear not you know, bring you out of the higher frequencies, the better ways of thinking about life, the better perspectives. You know, don't let it dull your mood and your attitude and your positive belief. I'm sending you so much love, Capricorn. Please throw a like down on this video. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at empoweredwomenrise.com, or you can do it with the link below. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time, Capricorn. All right, Aquarius, this new moon for you is the 12th house new moon. There's a lot that's been going on since 2018 in this area of life. So 12th house covers, you know, feeling crazy. It covers creativity. It covers escapism. It covers nihilism. It covers past lives and all of the deep memories of past lives. It covers our dream time and paying attention to our dreams and the themes that you notice in your dreams of like, well, I can't ever get love in this dream, or I'm always trying to do something and it never works, or like what are the themes in your dreams, because you know that's a subconscious healing that's needed Our dreams churn up all of the subconscious crap to help us to understand what to work on, what to move forward on. And so there's been this theme happening since 2018. If you watch part one, you'll see me lay down all the astrology that's happened at that 20-degree mark of Capricorn. A lot has went down at this 20-degree mark in the last so many years. So a lot is turning up. This is a full moon of blooming. Something is blooming, something is blossoming. There's some clarity that's going to come in by the end of this month. There is an energy forward. So this is definitely a time to do ritual. This is definitely a time to plant a seed here about the structures of your life, the structures of your imagination, like tending the attendance to your dreams, the attendance to your visions and what you want for your life and what you believe in and what you know you're capable in. This is a big moon here for you to believe in your authority in the world and integrating your visions and for humanity and the good that you can do in this world and believing in that full out. This moon is square the nodes in your ninth, third house. So there's definitely something here about your voice, your visibility, your expertise, putting that out in the world, travel abroad and expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, understanding the interrelatedness of all of life to the galaxy, to the universe, these greater, higher ideas and natural law, natural truth, really understanding like how you fit into the whole, identifying and categorizing life in such a way that you have this positive expectation, positive belief that you believe in what you can create, believe in your capability, not having a fixed mindset, but an adaptable, malleable mindset, and really having courage and bringing your voice forward and speaking your voice, being visible in this world, speaking your unique perspectives, putting it out there, making your own intellectual property, making your own courses and books and programs and your social media page, like letting that be an artwork, an art form. Like there's something here about having courage and independence and stepping into this great autonomy from the voices of other people, from what other people think, and to really separate yourself in such a way that you honor the uniqueness of you, the beautifulness of you, because you do have Saturn ruling this moon in the second house. That's wanting you to value yourself at the highest levels, upgrade your self-worth, believe in the gifts and the talents and the resources of who you are meant to be in this world, like what you're meant to bring, the talents that you have, believe in them. Don't let that little voice in your mind like put you down or always finding flaws. Like stop letting your mind find flaws. You have to say no to that. And there's a healing that's needed here with the way that you think about the interconnectedness of the world and all of that. So there's such a big moon for you, Aquarius. I'm going to pull you some cards. Please throw down a like on this video. I appreciate it. It really helps other people to find this video right at the moment that they need it. If you subscribe, you'll get notified when the new videos are out. They'll pop up in your feed. I really appreciate it, Aquarius. You got the card light. So remembering that you are light, see the light in yourself and other people, like really entertain the good, the positive. It's not, don't spiritual bypass, it doesn't mean like, don't look at what's really there, what's really coming up, the heavy emotions, the trauma, the difficulties, etc. We can't spiritually bypass. It doesn't work. It's not real frequency increase. You're not actually evolving and learning the lessons that you're here to learn, and you have to repeat that shit next life. So really don't encourage spiritual bypassing, but it's asking you to see the good in the situation, see the silver lining, see the thread of light everywhere. The light and the good is underneath the surface. So you have to look for it. You have to pry up the sidewalk and look for that shit. You got to see the beauty of this world and notice it and point it out to other people and be the vibration lifter, like be the one that is raising the frequency for everyone and realize how much magic that you are. Understand the light that you carry within yourself and how much that shifts people. Sometimes if you think about your life and those times where some high vibrational being came along and they just lifted you up out of a dark moment, and you think about you've done it for people too. And surely that's happened to you where it's just like, wow, I really needed them to come along at this moment. My vibration was so dipped down. I couldn't pull myself out. And this amazing person came along with a high vibration and just zapped me right up above the line. And thankfully, I'm able to be in this higher place. And so You want to realize how powerful the light is, how important. You got this card, Best Friends, that's really wanting you to anchor down into your friendships, value them at the highest level, nurture them. Don't take them for granted. Don't take friendships for granted. Maybe you have a lot of people in your life. Being an Aquarius, you can kind of have the next person and the next person and the next person. You can kind of just jump from person to person and then leave the old one behind because you can just get a new friend. Or you might be really isolated. One of the two tends to be with the Aquarius vibes. And so just realize that, like, don't take friendships for granted. Don't take kindred, deep connections for granted. Really value them at the highest levels, because you could maybe not have them. And understand the resource that we are to each other and how important that is, that we have community. It's very healing to have witness. It's very healing to have people in your corner, people that believe in you, that see the real you when so much of the world might not really honor the really unique, beautiful self that you have. You got simplicity. I love, it's one of my favorite cards. It's just so beautiful. And really, it's calling you back into the basics, of getting rid of the excess for a while and getting back to the basics. What are getting enough sleep, getting deep, nourishing food, getting in nature, getting sunshine, noticing all of the good that you have in your life, lifting other people up, having a laugh or a smile, just the delight in a cup of coffee or tea, exercise and how hard and good it feels, to do just the basics. It's wanting you to get back to the elemental, shower, water, earthing, get your feet on the ground, get some sunshine, getting enough sleep, all of those good things, like time with your animals. So, all right, I'm sending you lots of love, Aquarius. Please throw a like on this video. You can download my free astrology mini course by going to the link below this video or going to empoweredwomenrise.com. Sending you lots of love. I'm appreciative that you're here, Aquarius. All right, let's do this. Pisces. This this new moon for you is in your 11th house. And there's been a lot going down here since 2018. If you watch part 1, you'll see the astrology that I laid down all about this 20-degree mark of Capricorn. A lot has happened at this 20-degree mark of Capricorn. I go into the Sabian symbols, and so you've had so much happening in your 11th house since 2018. What has been turning up? Look at the storyline. Look at what's been going on. I talk about the key dates in part 1. Understand, because this is a new moon. It's a birthing, it's a vision, it's a blooming, but there is an unfolding here happening. And by the end of the month, when Mercury finally passes that 20-degree mark on the 29th, you really see something coming to a head. You'll really understand a storyline, a clarity will come in. But this is a time to do ritual. This is a time to understand, like, the structures. And 11th house is about bringing your gifts to the world, being an individual, individuating, liberating yourself from the highest levels of relationships that try to hold you back, keep you down, keep you from being unique. It's also about relationships, your friendships, your collaborations, your audience building in your business, your groups and referrals and all of those types of periphery relationships as well. It's like, what has been blooming here? What's been changing and shifting? And what about your perspective? Because this is square the nodes in your 8th house, 2nd house. So this is, squaring the nodes here to your 2nd, 8th house, about sexuality, about resources, money, valuing yourself, other people valuing you, other people's resources, about how, partnerships work and how resources are shared between you and other people and what works out and what doesn't. And there's like a lot of past life. There's a lot of old wounds, subconscious shit from childhood. There's just old stuff from the past, wounds, from, having resources being shared with you, having things work out, having things go your way. There's things here that have been healed, have been wanting to be healed, have come up for healing. And so if you look at that storyline, you might see how that's the inner work you've been doing. And there's this wanting to be bold and courageous in your money and your belief in yourself, your value of yourself, and putting your talents, your gifts, your genius out into the world. You don't shrink. Don't hold back. You got to believe it yourself in the highest levels. You got to have positive expectation about the actions that you take, and where are you taking them from? What emotions are you taking them from? The emotions of like positive belief, focus, determination, inspiration, inspired, or are you taking them from lack and fear and insecurity and self-doubt, etc.? We do that deep work in one-on-one coaching. So I really encourage you to book a free discovery call if you're wanting to change your life and accomplish big things. You have Saturn ruling this new moon in your first house of identity. Saturn's here all year 2024. It's been here since March in 2023. Saturn in your first house, Pisces. It's challenging. It's, if it's your rising, it's conjuncting your rising. It's your sun conjuncting your sun. It's provoking shifts and change and maturity and emotional maturity and a complete identity shift. Possibly it's first house. It's like, what identities are you shifting into? You've probably seen that shift with 2023. But it's wanting, being in your first house for the rest of 2024 and going into 2025, it's wanting you to, if you've had a big identity shift, get into the deeper nuances of it, of owning it, claiming it, being it, having like it permeate your whole body, infuse, like suffused into your whole body, this new identity, this new version of yourself that you're stepping into for the next 29 years. Saturn's a 29-year cycle. And so it's wanting this maturing of your identity, of yourself, your appearance, your self-modification, how you present yourself in the world, but also believing in yourself, like believing in yourself. The highest levels, you've got this square to the north node in your second house. This is second house of resources, money. This is like Maslow's hierarchy of needs stuff, like having shelter and food and water and like the basics. It's like, what is your energy? How do you show up in the world? Like, what do you believe that you deserve? This is so much about deservingness. And this 11th house is a house of ingenuity, individuation, of creation. It's a house of bringing your talents to the world, of being the unique individual that you are. And depending on where your Pisces energy is at, you can kind of shrink inside yourself sometimes and shrink back. And it's wanting to understand that that we need your unique transmission. We need your unique self in this world. Uranus in your third house of like individuating your mind from other people's views and opinions. There's a lot of disillusionment of self that has been going on, a lot of breaking down of who you thought you were, or the roadmap, like the direction you thought you were following, or even just week to week or month to month, that can be breaking down with Saturn here. But there's wanting, this is a restructuring for this next phase, this 30-year phase. This is a beginning. It's a big cycle that is a beginning, and you must capitalize on this. It's a 29-year cycle. You must capitalize. You must step into a beautiful identity of yourself that you want to be for 29 years. You must step into owning and believing in yourself at the highest levels, being bold, being courageous, healing your sense of your unique self, healing any ego hurts and wounds, like our tender hearts, healing the heart, healing the ego hurts, healing where you weren't seen or you weren't loved, healing where you didn't take the steps that you wanted to, or didn't get out there and do those things, or when you did and it was rebuked or unloved. So there's a lot here that's really beautiful. This is a big time. I'd look at that storyline from 2018. Definitely watch part 1. It'll help a lot. I'm going to pull you some cards, Pisces. Throw a like down on this video. I really appreciate you being here. It helps the algorithms find more people that could really use this message like right at this moment. So I appreciate you throwing the likes down. I'd really love to hear from you. If there's any comments that you want to throw down, I appreciate them so much. You got the card light. It's wanting you to remember the light that you are, the light that you bring. It's wanting you to also find the light in situations and in people, discriminate compassion. Like I always caution, discernment You don't let people have access to you that don't deserve it, but it's finding the good, finding the positive, not spiritually bypassing. You got to deal with really the gunk that's actually there that churns up, but it's wanting you not to let your brain get hijacked by shitty stories and like seeing all the flaws in yourself. Like, don't let your brain go down those places and habitate those places. It's wanting you to find the positive thread in things and to hold on to the high frequency and the high vibration that's pure, that's not from spiritual bypass, and to find laughter, find joy, ground, get yourself out in the sunshine, do the things that nurture that. And make sure you feed your light, really understand what feeds your light, what lifts you up. And there's something you're avoiding, Pisces. There's something that you love that you're avoiding, and really uncovering that. Some energetic medicine would be really helpful. I help my clients with that a lot because we can get bogged down with crappy energies. You got grandparents. So there's a grandparent that is beside you, that maybe both, many, depending on, how many you have alive and past, but there's a grandparent with you, that's spirit side, that wants you to know that they're here and they're supporting you and they're loving you. Sometimes we don't feel like we can feel them. Ask for a sign, notice the signs they do give you, like really connect with that ethereal world. And it takes getting out of the mind, it takes meditation, it takes connection to it, being under the shower and the water, and letting the mind go as much as you can, as many times as you can throughout the day, will help you connect to the ethereal world, to the invisible realms, and to connect to them. Ask them to just be with you in a moment, and to show you that they're there, and just be quiet and feel them. It's important. If you have grandparents, earth side, that are living, it's wanting you to nurture that relationship, realize the gift and the treasure of it, take time to be with them. Know that that time might be limited, finite, and just really cherish that relationship. There's something about change here. So there's change coming, and our brains sometimes will automatically, our brains have a negativity bias. 80% of our thoughts are negative. And so if we're not managing our mind and we're just letting our mind do whatever it's doing moment to moment, day to day, then 80% negative thoughts. It's going to just assume the worst always. It's going to assume catastrophe. So realize that change is not bad, that our brains sometimes equate and conflate change, meaning the other shoe is going to drop, something bad's going to happen. Like, see if you can program in that change is good, something good is happening, good things are shifting, good things are changing. So realize that changes are happening, Pisces, for you. They are positive, they are good. Take the positive actions, have the positive beliefs, manage your mind, work with your emotions, do the inner work. Make sure like really managing your vibration. And that's all the stuff I do with my clients in coaching. So they learn all the tools to do exactly that. If you've been wanting to feel connected to that, and learn those skills and tools, definitely you can book a free discovery call. You'll absolutely get a transformation from that call. You don't have to do anything. You just get to show up, and I do all the work, and you can schedule that on empoweredwomenrise.com. You got the card pets. So there's something here about tapping into the love energy, tapping into how easy it is to appreciate, to love. You got that light card of bringing in the positive and feeding your light. Feed your light with your pets, with understand the animal messengers that come to you that may not be your pets. Understand also that there's animal messengers talking to us at all times. So seeing their messages, listening, getting quieter, getting softer in your heart and your body, dipping down out of the mind, really coming out of that mind. You got love. There's a lot of love here for you, wanting you to remember, wanting you to feel love, program in the thought, like, I am loved, I feel loved. Like, those are really important beliefs to program in. I teach my clients how to do that. There is realizing that you are love, and to tap into that and try to infuse it into your body, like feel it. You can do a meditation where you just feel love invigorating your body and coming into you and going out and flowing through you. And so understand that that's something that's really coming up heavily. You also got relax, everything's okay. So if there's I can feel a sense of like there's this low level current of anxiety going on for Pisces, and it's just wanting you to understand that everything's okay. Just realize that you really can let go. Like, don't worry, it's all going to work out. It's going to be fine. That if there's like some doom feelings, that it might be time for some energy medicine, that really helps to put everything in its right, beautiful place. So I do that with my clients as well. Sending you lots of love, Pisces. I hope this was a great reading for you. If you'd like to download my free astrology mini course, you can do that at the link below or at empoweredwomenrise.com. And please throw a like down on this video. I appreciate it. If you subscribe, you'll get these videos popping up in your feed. And really appreciate you being here, Pisces. So sending everyone lots of love until next time. It's a big, big, big Capricorn new moon, y'all. See you soon.